don't see how we can make bigger enemies.
To be offended or frightened of everything.
So you've become like the sort of Tony Scarface of podcasting.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the morning show. We're still vibing to that new intro.
Yes. Very good intro, by the way. Courtesy of Philip Balabanos.
Philip B.
And where can you find Phil Balabanos?
Yeah, who isn't here today. So welcome, everyone. My name is George, host of the Backstage Podcast and Just As Dad's podcast. You can find on the backstagepod.ca and just backstagepod.com and justasdads.ca. Phil isn't here, but you can catch his great work over at what is it, Balabanos? Phil
Balabanos.com.
Balabanos.com. Producing the shit out of this one is Poseidon, that you can catch at the Poseidon 69.
Oh, he's producing the shit out of it, all right.
Made it just in time for the intro there, buddy.
People don't know how to park in this fucking garbage. Dude, there's two people actually parked in the lane that you drive. They both block the lane. You know when you go, the parking lot? Yeah. There's the second floor where you go down.
Yeah.
You can't go from there. There's two cars. They park there where the lane is, like as if it were parking spots.
No.
Yeah.
Not everyone is having a good morning today.
I'm having a good morning. I want to go. I want to go down. I want to write a note. I want to block their car and write a note. If you want your car, come to my fucking, come to my studio. Come.
You want me to do that right now?
Yeah, come do it right now. For real.
I'll do it right now.
Go
bro.
see them. Yeah, grab a note and do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucking bitches.
Okay, hold on.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Jed? I didn't know you were gonna be in.
I'm always in on Wednesdays, or at least I try to be.
Nice.
Every
I like
Wednesday.
this. I like this new G-Funk type of situation. You'll go have to stay and produce the show, bro, so that we handle our business. George, do you finally have good news to give us? Because you've been a known wrecking ball of attitudes in the morning. People are happy in the morning. They just watch Terry and Ted. They're waiting for the morning show. We get into it, and then what do? You bring them doom and gloom.
Out of them. Yeah, I depress the shit out of them. But that's how it is, man, usually. You know, the news are very rarely happy. Although there's a lot of good stuff happening. It's just that they choose not to give us this information because good news doesn't sell.
Yeah, well, like Australia?
What the fuck's going on down there, man?
That's good news, right?
Wow.
Isn't that good news?
Did you see? My wife told me this the other day because we were talking about how yesterday morning I turned on the news and we're doing some work around the house and I put on the news and there's Mario Dumont that comes on LCN. And the first piece of news that he says is how this young man died, 24 years old.
Where?
From COVID-19. I don't remember in what region or what city.
Here in Quebec?
Yeah, here in Quebec.
Oh, that's not good.
And how he had one vaccine done and that he was planning on getting a second one. And I'm thinking, where the fuck are they saying this, man? Like, is this really news? And it just feels like, more and more now with that young guy that died up in Laval, the Greek kid that died. Yeah. And, the news was he was super healthy and yet, look, he died. And it just feels that, the more and more we advance. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're just
we saw that couple on the New York Post yesterday, Poseidon, the couple that died together holding hands, the double-vaxxed couple. Yeah,
so they're finding all these little stories where they can tell people, listen, these guys were either healthy or these guys were vaccinated, and so we need to still be careful.
And lockdown, yeah.
So we're talking about that. I'm telling my wife, it's crazy how this is the news now. And now it's how do we scare people?
Yeah.
And I'm not generalizing, but it just seems that what we're seeing in the news is very much aligned with that. And then she tells me the story about some guy in Australia who, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you're making this shit up, right?
I don't even know what you're gonna say. I'm excited.
She's like, no. I'm like, come on. I didn't even go check. I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother. But she says that she read it somewhere. She saw it somewhere where, you know, everything is still on lockdown, right? In Australia, it's crazy. People are on the street. They're like, what the fuck? You know, we can't do anything. It's been 2 years nearly.
I'll tell you an Australian video I saw.
And the news puts up a picture of this guy that was caught, you know, on a security camera in a store. I don't know what. And they're like, beware, you know, authorities are looking for this individual.
Oh, the guy who had COVID, the young kid.
Yeah,
that happened a while back.
He's unvaxxed.
Yeah.
If you have any information, call. What?
Yeah,
what do you mean, man? Where do we live?
I saw that.
They're treating it like a crime.
Like the guy, as if the guy's a murderer, man.
Yeah.
If you see this guy roaming the streets.
Yeah. But that guy, if we're talking about the same guy, the guy in the bathrobe, that guy's an idiot because he was diagnosed with COVID. Obviously, I don't think it should be in the news, but he was diagnosed with COVID, and then he just left his room and he wandered to go buy shit or whatever. He was even coughing, like in the elevator. So he is a dumbass. He's not the smartest guy. Now, treating it the way they did is a little excessive because I'm sure a lot of people are walking around not even knowing it or knowing it that they have COVID. Over here, we take shit seriously. Yesterday, him and Guido, before they came here, they had to go get rapid tests.
Because I have a seasonal shit like around this time of the year.
Yeah.
My sinuses inflate like crazy.
Yeah, I'm not
Mucus,
taking any
everything.
chances.
They go bananas.
Yeah.
And when phlegm accumulates, I have this
It's
little
disgusting.
wet
The
cough.
point is, this has been a co-free zone the entire pandemic. We're not going to start now. So I had them both get rapid tested.
And they're okay, obviously?
They're okay. They just wasted their money. But you know, but it's they paid half of what I fucking paid the week before.
How effective
so they're
is
fine.
it though, man? Because I heard that those rapid tests, they barely like swipe your nose, like the tip of your
tickles.
nose.
No, they go deep enough, but it tickles. Yeah.
Tickles,
Like
yeah.
they don't go like all the way down to your brain.
Yeah, it's not the depth that's the issue with the COVID test. The problem with the PCR test is that it would amplify everything. You could basically you skew a PCR test enough, they'll find whatever they want. But no, normally if you have it, they'll know. Like she even said, she goes, if it's negative but it's like a gray area, I'm gonna make you go get the real one, like the full one.
Yeah.
But it's not like they can tell if like it's
There you go.
if there's a ambiguity. But yeah, I also saw Australia yesterday. The woman who was being arrested, she was sitting on the sidewalk with her hands tied behind her back, handcuffed. And I was like, I wonder what this bitch did. And it's the cops like, yeah, she was. The cops are all masked up. She's like, she's fucking walking down the street with her daughter, no fucking mask. This lady.
That's
Crazy, man.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, bro. Also outside, like this is like the farce is over.
Yeah. No,
The-
this is next level, bro.
Yeah.
This is insane, bro.
Like I understand, like, you know, the you know, you walk into businesses, shops, whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
of
different.
course. Yeah.
But what does it bother you if she's outside? Like, I mean, how much of a threat is she? Fucking crazy. Anyways, speaking of morons, and just as a follow-up to Quebec's law last week.
By the way, Eva Donna is dropping the sad news in the chat. Jesus Christ, Eva Donna, what are you doing? And first thing she heard this morning was a guy that killed his girlfriend in Saint Donat.
Oh, man, I'm not going to talk about that.
Left his
honestly.
5 kids barely orphans. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's all over the news. The woman got assassinated,
Well, assassin. Why? What did she do?
murdered. I don't know, and I honestly, I'm done looking into stories like that. I don't know.
Because if she got assassinated, then she's politically involved, is what you're saying?
In better news, in New Zealand, some dudes were caught smuggling KFC.
Oh, I heard about that. That was a while ago.
Well, there's no KFC down there.
No, because people can't go too far. I guess New Zealand, it's like the
Oh,
same
they would
bullshit.
bring the food to people. You
Yeah,
mean? Okay.
Like shit like that, you know.
I thought smuggling it into
Yeah.
New Zealand.
You need some chicken, bro?
We got some chicken.
Yeah, I want some chicken. I gotcha.
They were selling it for like a good prime, like a good top.
I got Prime.
You got to give it to the hustlers, man. They find the opportunity.
Yo, I
to
love the
make
hustlers.
some quick cash. But anyway, no. Speaking of morons, and just as a follow up to the law that was passed last week in Quebec,
law?
you know, with a 50-meter rule for demonstrators in front of schools and vaccination centers. You weren't here when we spoke about it, I think.
No. I'm kind of cool with that. I mean, like,
It was a special law. Yeah, it was a special law that they passed like in less than a day. Like it was tabled in the morning on Thursday, I think, last week.
Like, if you're
And,
going to protest in front of a school, be 50 meters away, I'm cool with that. You're going to fucking annoy kids. They're trying to
yeah,
learn.
because, you know, there's a bunch of morons now that are going in front of schools and they're intimidating kids. Like
Why
young kids.
schools? I don't understand why schools.
Because basically the message is we don't want the mandatory vaccinations in
Okay,
schools. and teachers
I'm not.
and staff
I understand.
and all
I am
that.
not against that. What I'm saying is the people at the school are not the ones making the rules.
Exactly.
You're protesting at the wrong fucking
Go
place.
demonstrate in front of a
school board.
parliament or
No,
whatever.
the school board.
The school boards
That's
don't
what I'm
exist
saying.
anymore.
The school boards don't exist anymore. But that's what I'm saying, because you're protesting the wrong fucking thing. You're posting at the wrong place.
Exactly. So follow up to that, the one main person that all the media has been focused on is this black dude, Francois Amalega. He was the one that was present at one of these press conferences with Aruda, and he was there without a mask.
Oh, I don't remember any of
He's
this.
all over the place, this guy. Everywhere where there's media, he's demonstrating without a mask, and he's against all these measures.
Does he think COVID is real?
He doesn't. He thinks it's all a farce. He's one of those guys, right?
He's been arrested,
He's everywhere.
I mean, the way they're treating it sometimes is a farce, but it is a real thing.
And he's the one that started all these things, the demonstrations in front of schools. He has a blowhorn, and
There's a blowhorn.
Yeah, the whole thing,
This guy's equipped.
What do they call it? Isn't it a blowhorn?
No,
What do you call it?
That's not a blowhorn. The blowhorn is that long one where you blow into
Yeah,
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Are you talking about a megaphone?
a blowhorn.
Fucking retards.
So, anyways, so I'm reading the news this morning, and I'm seeing he got arrested. I'm like, fuck! It didn't even last a week. They already caught him. So I'm like, but it has nothing to do with this.
Was he a black guy in a white neighborhood? Is that what happened?
No, but this is something that I don't understand, and I've been looking for extra information, but I can't
Why
find
did he
it.
get arrested?
This is from an arrest that was made during the summer where he walked into a private business without a mask. He refused to wear a mask. They called the cops. The cops took him in. He got arrested.
I don't think you should get arrested for that, but if the private business has its own rules, you should get kicked out.
They took
But
him in.
arrested is a bit far-fetched.
I mean, I don't know exactly what happened and what the circumstances were, but he...
Like if I say you have to wear a pink mask in here and you walk in without a pink mask, can I actually call the cops and get you arrested?
Yeah, no. So here's what happens, because here's the funny thing, and I don't understand how this works. So he was supposed to appear yesterday at the municipal court, okay?
Municipales.
For exactly the charges at that time in the summer. He walks in the municipal court without a mask. Obviously, he doesn't believe in that stuff. So the security agents over there, they tell him, listen, you wear a mask or you can't come in. He's like, I'm not wearing a mask. So they're like, well, fuck off, stay outside.
I play by my own rules.
But he's like, I have to come in because the judge is going to, have to appear before a judge for these charges and all that stuff. And he's like, can I stay? At least can you put me in a cubicle or in a private room somewhere until the judge comes and sees me?
in a private room.
Like, yeah, in the courthouse, they have all these little cubicles that you can go stay in. And they're like, no, you have no mask. You can't come in. Stay outside. So his case number comes up. The judge calls for him. He's not there. And the judge is like, okay, well, he's not here. So they issued an arrest warrant.
For the guy that's sitting outside.
So
That's a bit much.
So the cops, they walk outside the building where he was waiting and they arrest him.
Oh, that's a setup.
So I mean,
That's setup.
that's how I read it was an article in La Presse. I mean, I don't know exactly what he did and whatever is related to that story back in the summer where he was initially arrested. I don't know what kind of charges, but the way it was done, it's like, wait a minute, the guy was there. He came to appear before a judge like he was supposed to. You didn't let him in because he wasn't wearing a mask. Because he wasn't present, the judge orders his arrest. So they just literally walked out the building, grabbed the guy, arrested him.
They even knew where he was. It's such a bullshit thing.
You know what I
man.
mean?
He's outside. Okay, arrest him. Like that's a bullshit
But
thing.
isn't it crazy?
Well, we live in crazy times, but people keep accepting it, so this is nothing. This is gonna get a lot worse. Look at Australia. We're gonna start taking examples from it.
No.
Wait till they start censoring. Wait till this doesn't exist anymore. They start censoring the internet, podcast, all that here in Canada.
Oh, yeah, it's going to become Cold Cuba.
Speaking of which, interesting, because I was going to talk about it, but I'll talk about it now.
Lexon.
I was waiting for it.
This whole week at the parliament, they've been talking about the whole issue of screen time with kids, right? And how much screen time they get and how bad it is for them and all that stuff. And the PQ leader...
keep it active, Poseidon. Move it around. Keep it active.
Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon came out with a suggestion. I just want to know what you guys think. He goes, we should implement some sort of regulation or something, and I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do that, to have one entire week in Quebec where there won't be any social media. Nobody will be able to access social media.
Wait. Hold on a second. Hold on. I gotta say something. This is just for kids, or for everyone.
Everyone.
Okay, so I gotta say
suspicious.
something. Last week we made fun of China. Canadians made fun of China. Oh, look at that. They're restricting video game time for kids. Kids can't play more than 3 hours a week of video games. That's fascism. But this is normal.
Yeah.
Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, this is like just, an effort to kind of, break away from isolation and all the hate and all that stuff.
I get the hate thing, but just don't go online. I get a lot of hate too, but I got to be online, but I got to promote my shows. How are people going to know that tonight I'm going to be in Quebec City and you should come watch me in French?
Yeah. I don't know. So that's what they're proposing.
I have a question though. Aren't we all adults? Can't you just turn off your
but that's
phone?
okay. So here's the difference. This is what Americans have always been fighting for. Let me make my own decisions.
Yeah.
I want to get hammered. I want it available to me to take it. I'm an adult. I should learn. Communism and fascist states don't believe in that. They believe in the state will decide for you what your favorite color is, how you should live your life, what you should be doing. It is first of all, for people don't even realize this is going to be bad for anyone that lives a real alternative lifestyle. Keep waiting. You think because of wokeness, bro? Anything you do that's against the norm is not going to be acceptable in a couple of years the way we're going.
Yeah. Because in addition to this, there's two other things. Because he said, listen, the idea here is maybe, there's ways to counter all this hatred that happens on social media. And they're like, Quebec at least should figure out a way to ban the fake accounts.
What?
You know what I mean? So it's like on
Quebec is a problem. What is the fake account? This is so
it's
stupid.
like-
What fake accounts?
Twitter and all these people that have fake accounts and they just put
Who
a bunch
cares?
of bullshit. So
Who
they're
cares?
like, what?
This is
You know,
absurd.
like,
First
it
of all,
would
you know what
eliminate-
Quebec should
so the
focus
argument-
on?
Hold on.
Hold on. No, I'm pissed. You know what Quebec should fucking focus on? Poseidon, how many kids, what was the percentage of kids in Quebec that go to school hungry?
About 40%.
40% of kids go to fucking school. Focus on that, you idiots. Not a troll telling you you're gay online. Focus on that. I hate this fucking...
And the roads.
Oh
There's so
my
much
God.
shit,
So
bro.
yeah,
It's so stupid.
the idea is that if there's more accounts with real people, they will be more reluctant to share hateful messages or to whatever, to attack
Look,
you on
unless-
social media
unless
or
you're
anything like
saying-
that.
Unless you're saying I'm going to kill you or kill this person or that. I think it's carte blanche for everything, bro. You want to call somebody gay? Go call them gay online, bro.
And then
Who
here's the
cares?
other one.
Now, if somebody doesn't call me gay, I'm going to find it weird.
So and the other
You're
thing
so
is,
used to it.
Yeah.
I've lived with it all my life, and now there's something missing. That's a good sketch, man.
What's going on this week? No one's called me a fucktard.
That's a good sketch, by the way.
Suspicious.
so and he wants Quebec to also get involved and to look into all these algorithms that exist on social media and to find a way to kind of eliminate all these posts that are put online that have a very charged emotional message,
But those
or
are
that
two different
hateful.
things.
Yeah, but it's two
It's
different
the
things.
media who does that. How come they're not going after the media for hate speech? They do it all the fucking time. How come they're not going after the prime minister for hate speech? Why? What do they care about a fake troll account?
Because they're in charge.
They're idiots.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. I have no idea how algorithms work, and I don't know how the state could actually look into it to make sure that whatever. Okay, in Quebec, we're gonna alter the algorithm so anything that comes out in the popular feeds that is hateful or whatever, we're gonna have to make sure to kind of eliminate it. So like as you're scrolling,
It's a slippery slope.
I'm not sure how that works.
Well,
but,
it's a slippery slope. I'll tell you why. Because then if they decide that, what do they define as hateful?
well, yeah, exactly. So you're
Because
going-
evidently saying the prime minister is saying that half the country is the enemy is not hate speech. So whatever the fuck they consider is hateful
Yeah,
is
basically.
going to be very dangerous to us.
And it's a poll that's always going to be moving.
Yeah, these are the same people that just a few years ago did not believe that the indigenous people are human beings. They called them savages. They killed their kids, and then now these are the people that we're going to take cues from. Are you fucked? What kind of games are we playing? I'm very sorry that I'm angry at you.
Did you see the video of?
I'm very sorry that I'm angry, but it doesn't make sense to me. We're allowing the people that have done the most heinous shit to dictate to us now what kind of freedom of expression there's going to be online. Because what? Because enough people called them out. Because there's been enough alternative media to be like, wait a second, bitch. You said this, but you actually did this. And now they're like, oh, this is hateful. You right? Isn't it better for you? Now no one's going to call you stupid online.
What they're
I don't
doing
give a
is
shit.
they're using that as a shield.
Yeah.
So their true motives is they don't like to be called.
They don't
out.
like to get criticized. That's what this is.
That's
you,
what that
you know
is.
that's what this is, right?
yeah.
You think they give a fuck about Joe Schmo being called a retard online? They don't care.
Yeah, it's like how the corporations use the gay thing every year as a shield.
Yeah, in June or whatever, but they don't give a shit about gay people.
No.
Yeah.
We're moving into like this weird.
Orwellian.
I don't know what it is.
It's fascism. It's fascism when government and corporations mix and they take over. That's fascism.
No. This is nuts, bro.
Yeah.
We're going down a very bad path, bro.
Yeah. People don't know what fascism is, though.
No.
I just wonder if at some point, things are going to balance out. They're going to come back. I mean, look, clearly the last almost 2 years now.
It's too late for that. I think.
It's the people are too stupid. First of all, people are scared to speak out. They just accept it because everyone thinks the same thing. I listen to people. Oh, if I just accept it, it's gonna go back to normal. If you accept it, this is the new normal. If you accept it, this is now the new normal. This is now the new normal. It's never happened in the history where we've given the government something and they gave it back to us later. It doesn't happen. Like the way our federal taxes work right now, right? What was that? World War I or World War II? One for the war effort. So I don't know. I could be wrong. World War I is over, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's been over.
It's been over?
Last time I checked, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, last time I checked, I think it finished
100 years ago, maybe?
about more.
Yeah.
now, I
Oh,
think.
that's interesting. So do we get all those back taxes? Come on, man. It's nonsense.
By the way, the man himself, Spiro,
Oh,
dropped a super chat, $6.99. I don't
that's
know
an
why.
oddly specific
I was
super
about
chat.
to say that. It's
He does it on purpose to fuck
I
around.
know. He goes, George should get Trudeau or go on the backstage, and Pantelis just ambushes him.
Just walks in.
Yeah.
Next time it should be like 645 or 646.
Yeah,
or
something
like
random.
some weird
Yeah,
number, like a
4-2.
weird price or something.
Yeah.
A weird amount.
I'm sorry, George. I'm so passionate about this, but it's so dumb.
Well, listen, we're passionate about it because more you guys than myself.
I love freedom.
You're involved in it every single day, right? Like, I mean, this is what you do now, right?
Yeah.
You're online all the time. I mean, you're a comedian, so obviously you need this freedom of expression, whether it hurts people or not, as long as it's not violent or anything, inciting violence or anything like that. Like, you need this to make a living, to survive. It's part of your livelihood.
But again, not just because the way I'm seeing it is not like if it was for me, I'd be like, oh man, this is amazing. You're telling me that people aren't going to tell me to go fuck myself. That's great. But that's a selfish point of view. I'd rather, as usual, just like comedy, everything, I'd rather we're all allowed to be online, find our own way, search our own. And yeah, there's going to be idiots on there too. It's par for the course. Just like driving. I'd rather have the right to drive and go wherever I want instead of being like, no, you have to be safe. You can't drive. Now only government employees can come pick you up from one spot to another. There's no cabs, nothing. It's the best way to keep it safe. Fuck out of here. No, I want my freedom. I want to drive. I want to go places.
Yeah.
Freedom, bro.
But,
It's great. People don't realize what they have until it's too late.
Yeah.
But it's what you said, right? I mean, it's one thing for the governments to legislate on whatever issue, but when it comes down to very specific things like this, it's what you said. Like, how do you define hatred?
Yeah.
What's offensive? What isn't offensive? How do you control an algorithm? I don't know. I mean, I don't understand this thing. I mean, it's technology that I'm not familiar with, but you're right. I mean, you're opening up a Pandora's box where it could be, like they say in French, deux poids, deux mesures. Like, you can take one action for one thing and kind of ignore it for something else. Like, What is it? A case by case? Like, how are you going to go about this,
And it shouldn't be up to a province, a state to dictate that. I mean, if there's online accounts that are fake accounts, and they just tweet like, you're dumb, your hair is stupid. Okay, block them, mute them, do whatever the fuck you have to do. But you're an adult, so if you're walking down the street and someone's like, hey, your hair is goofy, are you going to start crying, fall down, like, I'll call the police? Like, I don't understand. How do you live like that?
You either ignore it or you turn around
and you confront it. That's it.
Yeah.
By the way, let me just say something here, and this is from personal experience. There's a lot of fake Twitter accounts that belong to parties.
Yeah.
To what?
Yeah.
To the political parties.
Yeah, and they just go, when the political party tweets something dumb that everybody's like, fuck you, they're the fake accounts that go, this is great, we need you to tell us what to think. But you could tell by the way they write. You could tell that it's stupid. You could tell when they're fake bot accounts or whatever. A government, for example, says, we're going to remove your freedom online, we're going to do this. No sane person is going to write, yeah, finally, there's someone here to tell me when I could go online. Like, no adult should ever say that. If you say it, you're either mentally unstable or you're a fake account.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
I'll show you two after.
That's where all our taxes are going, is to hire these people with those fake accounts. It's funny, they wanna govern fake accounts, but they're the prime culprits of the fake accounts.
It's always like
I'm
that.
not saying that all fake accounts.
No, not all fake accounts
I'm
are
not
the
saying
government.
all, but I'm just saying
They do it a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But all corporations do it. All these, whenever they have these
Corporations, I
shitty ideas that you're like, what the fuck, this is weird. And you see these weird people, this is amazing. Of course, black people shouldn't have rights. That's not.
Too many followers.
Yeah, those people are not real. Those people are not. And then you're like, holy shit, look at all the racism. Bro, you know how deep into racism you have to be to believe some of the shit that's in there? They create these entities that barely exist. And that's why we end up fighting each other. And they're like, what am I mad about again? I don't know.
It's funny that you say it because China is very guilty of this too.
China does, yeah.
No,
No, China does that all the time, bro.
Come on, man. What the?
Yeah.
Bro, they have people they pay full time, bro. They
Yeah.
have hundreds of phones in front of them.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of China, and again, I was going to talk about this a bit later on, but we should talk about this now since it comes into the conversation.
George coming in with that heat.
The Michaels are back.
The what?
The Michaels. Michael, what's his face? The two Michaels, the Canadian
Dude,
guys.
yeah, they were in prison in China because Trudeau forgot about them.
Oh,
Michael,
they're back in the news or they're back in the
No,
country?
they let them out
in
'cause-
the country. So here's the story. For those who haven't been following, back in 2018, Meng Wanzhou, who is the CFO, I think, or some highly ranked person in Huawei, I think.
Huawei.
She was in BC.
They make cellular telephones and tablets.
Yeah, no.
And the U.S. asked Canada to arrest her and to extradite her to the U.S. so she could be tried. Obviously, I mean, extradition laws, they're not that complicated usually, especially if there's any treaties between the two countries. It usually
Like us.
happens exactly between the U.S. and Canada. It happens quite often, actually, unless it's for an infringement on a law that Canada doesn't recognize, like, for example, the death penalty or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But for something like this, which apparently was corruption, there's a subsidiary of Huawei that she was in charge of that had dealings with Iran, and apparently with some U.S. law that was forbidden. I'm sure that was politically motivated because of the whole thing with China and Huawei and all that stuff. So Canada arrests her.
Okay.
And they were waiting for the judge to rule on whether or not the extradition would happen. And it's taken, 3 years now? Finally.
Wow, that's a while.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because while that was happening, China said, oh, you arrest our citizen? We arrest your citizen.
Yeah. So
And then they arrested two dudes named Michael.
Yeah. So like a couple of days after
Is it because
Canada,
they weren't sure who they were?
No, it's because they knew who they were.
No. We see them as they all look.
No. China, we don't. You do. But no, China said it was very simple though, and it made sense. The argument they go, we already have a Michael in China, and they arrested them. There could only be one.
There can only be one Michael in China.
Yeah. So these two were just superfluous.
And it's Mike Ward. He's the only one named Michael that's allowed.
So yeah, Michael Spaver and Michael Kovrig.
Poor guys.
So basically what happened, a couple of days after Canada arrests Meng Wanzhou, they go and grab these two. One of the guys was working for, he was like some consultant in a tourism agency. And the other guy was a former diplomat working for some policy group in China. So they arrest them on conspiracy charges. They're like, oh, these guys are spies and blah, blah, blah. Canada's like, wait a minute, this comes awfully strangely, it's a weird coincidence that, this comes like right after we arrest one of your biggest
CEOs.
you know what I mean?
Also, they're not spies.
They're like, no, these are spies, blah, 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 we're going to charge them. So Canada has been arguing all these years that, they were abducted. This is a fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And they're like, and they kept playing into the argument that no, it has nothing to do with that. There's, they've been charged with espionage and all that stuff. So finally, last week, the U.S. gets an admission of guilt from Meng Wanzhou.
Oh shit! Okay.
And that's all they wanted. So
that's all they needed, just an apology.
Yeah. They just wanted to know if she knew that this was happening. She admitted to it, so they let her free. So Canada obviously didn't go through with the extradition. They said, look, if she said that, then we're not going to extradite her. And because she wasn't extradited, they sent her back to China, and almost immediately those two guys were put in a plane on the first flight back to Canada. So now this poses a question.
Yeah.
Was there any purpose in this whole like the fact that this happened?
Have the two Michaels spoken out? Were they beaten?
No, but the conditions weren't. They were in a very small room.
Did they get raped?
I don't know. From what I've read, they were in a room that was lit 24 hours a day.
Oh, they put them in a torture. That's still okay. It's not rape, but they still weren't treated nice.
Whereas Meng Wanzhou was in house arrest in some fucking villa house in Vancouver. I don't know where.
Her arrest, where she stayed, was better than how most people live in this
country. She
country.
had everything she wanted, obviously, because these guys are in China. They hadn't even found out that there was an international pandemic until October of 2020.
Oh, they lived in a good life.
They didn't.
What?
They were closed off from everything happening.
They didn't know that there was
No way.
Yeah.
So they came back home like, why is everyone wearing masks here?
Oh, it's like
the
the-
pandemic. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like the coma, like the waking up from a coma. Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, nice. I'm glad they missed it.
So the thing now is, because everybody's accusing Justin Trudeau of,
Being a pussy.
folding and caving in and whatever. And the fact is that, listen, she said whatever she had to say. That's fine. Send her back to fucking China. That's what the U.S. wants. Because it wasn't Canada's decision to arrest her. They had no clue what was going on.
Yeah.
They just did everything that the
By the
U.S.
book.
pretty much dictated. So, and they're in between two situation where do you want to make a decision that is going to impact your relations with the U.S. or not do it,
And impact your
ruin
relations
that relation with
with
the U.S., but sort of keep a relation that you have with China. I mean, is there a relation with China? The fact of the matter is that now, the fact that China released the two Michaels automatically, the way I see it,
Then it's obvious that they were fucking around.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, what does that say about China and the relations now that they're having with all these other countries? Already, there's a bunch of countries that have blocked Huawei from the 5G networks everywhere.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is not new. The US has done it, the UK, a bunch of other countries.
You need to be careful.
Canada isn't. And Michael, Justin Trudeau came out on Monday, his first press conference after the election. Obviously, he was questioned on that, and they asked him what's going to happen with Huawei. I have a feeling that they're going to probably move along the lines of the rest of the international community. They weren't making any.
I don't think so. I think we're pussies. Because if we were real,
I don't think so. The two guys are back now. They're like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Let's join this alliance of other countries. We got our guys back. There's no other danger.
well, there's other Canadians living.
Of course. It could always happen. But at the same time, I mean, there's also Americans. There's also British people. There's people from all these countries that have blocked Huawei anyway.
You know what we need to do as a country? We need to we need to sever political ties with China and Australia.
Australia, I
What do
don't.
you mean? For sure, Australia.
Why?
You seen what's happening?
Yeah.
How the fuck are we
100%.
supporting that? Iran doesn't even do that shit.
Yeah. It's true, eh?
That's
They're busting kneecaps. People
Yeah,
are worried about. Are you
yeah,
crazy?
yeah.
Well, of course we should. If we play the rules by our standard, right, bro? We bombed countries, us and the U.S. for less. We've bombed countries because we're bringing freedom.
It's
Bro,
true, eh?
we've bombed countries for less.
It's true.
If we're being honest, but we can lie. Be like, but they speak English, so they could do whatever they want. But no, in reality, what they're doing is completely against our values.
100%.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening with China, and this is interesting right now because I have a feeling that with this issue being settled after 3 years, I mean, I can assume and speculate all I want, but I have a feeling that Trudeau's going to take a much tougher stance on China, which is finally about time.
I doubt it.
Well, because see, this is surprising. Well, it's not surprising
He's
at all
gonna ask
because
China. He's like, "How tough can I go?" They're gonna tell him.
Yeah, like some weird BDSM
Yeah.
shit.
So here's the other problem, George, and we spoke about this a year and a half ago. You know why he can't go super tough on China?
Yeah.
Because us, like many other countries in the world, fucked up our own manufacturing in our countries.
Yeah.
So we're dependent on a
but this
country that hates us.
But this is an interesting article that came up. I can't remember which paper. I think in the Journal de Montréal or La Presse. I can't remember. They were saying that yes, admittedly, China has
the upper hand.
the upper hand because they have all this industry, right? But at the same
We
time,
need to bring it back here.
yeah. But at the same time, China also does depend economically on other countries as well. I mean, they do business with other countries. I mean,
Well, they build the stuff for us. We pay them to build it, and then we buy the stuff, right? That's how they make their money. Now, of course, we need to buy the stuff for them to make the money. However, we're gonna buy the stuff if we can't make the stuff ourselves. So the trick is you bring back manufacturing here, then you buy your own goods, and then you leave them out in the wind, and then they gotta play ball. You get it? Then if you want to be part of the international community, you got to stop whatever the fuck you're doing, torturing people, all that shit. You know?
yeah. The problem though is the competitive advantage. I mean, how do you create the industry here and make sure that you're competitive enough for these companies?
Well, the issue is they have a lot of slave labor, so it's easy for them to cheaply manufacture shit.
Quantity, right? So what we
Yes.
got to do is what Canada's been doing against the U.S. for years: quality over quantity.
Yeah.
So we had not an issue, but our dollar, in order to be competitive, this is what I tell, because people don't understand. People are like, I want the Canadian dollar to be higher than the American. Is the dumbest thing ever. You know why? Because we could make whatever the Americans can make, and they can make whatever Canadians can make. The problem is they can make it more efficiently and faster and better, bigger, all that more bulk. So our competitive advantage was cheaper prices.
Yeah.
Our dollar was lower, so if somebody has to buy between both, like, I'll buy the Canadian one. It'll take a bit longer, but I'm getting it cheaper. It's so much better. So same kind of competitive advantage we got to do with, Canada's going to be a little bit more expensive, but the quality's better. There's no slave labor. We signed so you're signing treaties to reduce our carbon footprint. We signed treaties just like they tried to do with coffee, equitable coffee. You try and if we're going to buy electronics, we're going to buy it from a modern country that's paying people and it's not slave labor.
No.
This is all doable, but they make it seem impossible because they don't want to handle it. Like now the new system is everything is just outsourced. You handle it. Why not handle it here? Why do we have to outsource everything? There's people here, fucking unemployment, bro. Nobody wants to work. There's no jobs. You tell me we can't build some badass factories here,
bro. You take all you gotta do is take the people who are who have been permanently living on fucking BS, who refuse to work, and you tell them, look.
And most of the shit is automated now anyway. It's not like physical labor. Like people gotta go sweat in it, bro. All of it's machines. You need people to supervise. Yeah. They're not there in line. We have the technology. You don't have to actually sew the shoe.
We have that technology where they can have all the advantages.
Just people checking.
Of a full-time job with the advantages.
But the other funny thing with China
Safety.
now is that there was a boycott on a bunch of Canadian products. So suddenly,
what do we export to China that they boycotted?
They have wheat, pork,
maple syrup,
a bunch of products.
They boycotted pork. I thought they loved pork.
No, they had boycotted because when this whole started, I mean, Justin tried to play tough a little bit, and China's like, okay, well, we're gonna boycott your wheat and we're gonna boycott your pork coming into China. And I'm assuming that's like in the millions. I mean, I don't even know the numbers.
A lot of pork.
So suddenly they dropped those. They dropped the boycott. So everything was, everything was done on purpose. China has this weird way of getting their way. And I think that the international community should finally wake up. I mean, that meeting that they had, the G7 meeting that they had, I think earlier this year in the UK, where they spoke about implementing international laws against, this Chinese aggression. I think they should start taking that a little bit more seriously now.
It's funny. A year ago when I was saying this shit, I was an asshole. I was bad. You're not good for international community. Racist. Why are you against China? All this stuff. It's like, no, there's nothing guys, we have to have some fucking standards. This is crazy. This is fucking crazy. You can't just let someone dick you around all the time.
At the same time, during that press conference, obviously, because it was the first time that Trudeau came public since the election, obviously he was questioning a bunch of things related to the elections and all that stuff. There's a lot of speculation on whether or not he's going to remain for a whole mandate. We have this reflex of...
I heard there's that he cheated. Who the fuck cheats to lose? This guy's horrible. At least cheat to win.
How did he cheat? What did you hear?
That's what I heard, bro. I heard rumors of election fraud, but I was like, God damn, I hope if he did do election fraud, it never comes out. That would be the most embarrassing thing. Yeah, we cheated. Would it help? Not much, really. But
I don't remember who explained this to me. I think it was George, because the popular vote doesn't matter.
No, here in Canada, it doesn't matter. And nowhere, actually, it really doesn't matter.
So if you lose on that, you don't care about...
Oh, did he lose? I don't even remember. Did he lose the popular vote?
He lost the popular vote.
Who won the popular vote?
Conservatives.
Holy shit. Okay, yeah.
But not by a lot,
cool.
I mean, yeah.
But it doesn't matter. You still lost it. So the popular vote isn't important. So he may have cheated, because the thing is, people are very... tunnel vision, so they'll see the popular vote and be like, oh, there's no way he could have cheated. Look, he lost the popular vote. But he may have cheated.
Actually, very few people look at the popular vote.
Yeah, very few. I didn't even know. But it is funny that more people wanted a person elected, but someone else wins. Our system is a little weird.
The popular vote is usually used as, a positive thing by the opposition, especially like the last election, Scheer won the popular vote.
I remember that. That I remember.
And now O'Toole won it. And I mean, if there's one positive thing that you got to look at, obviously they're gonna. I mean, you lost.
Yeah,
so you got to look for the positive.
I am surprised at that, and I'm a little impressed with Canadians. I did not know that.
What do you mean?
I did not know that the popular vote didn't go to Trudeau.
Yeah, it didn't. Last time either. But anyway, now they're speculating because, we have this reflex of assuming that any minority government is going to last between 18 to 20 months. I think the message that he got was pretty clear. It's like, okay, people didn't want fucking snap elections. We got to keep this longer than at least 2 years, 2.5 years.
So that $650 million is coming out of his pocket, right? It's not taxpayer.
No, it's not. It's not. It's your money. Yeah.
Oh, it's my money.
It is your money.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's your money. So now the big debate is this government going to last longer than 18 to 20 months? I have a feeling it might. And the reason it might is because I have a doubt if during the next election, whenever that may be, that Justin Trudeau is going to lead the Liberals. I have a feeling that he's going to step down. And if he steps down, he has to leave enough time for the new leader to come in and to get accustomed. And so I have a feeling that it's going to last maybe close to 3 years, maybe over 3 years. So he's been questioned a lot about that.
Should step down?
No, are you going to step down? Are you going to stay there?
I'll tell you one thing.
So
he's smart to step down for one reason, because then he could be like, I'm undefeated. When I was around, they kept winning.
Well, that's the thing.
Wait, repeat that. Sorry.
It's okay.
Look, you're a political leader. The risk is, do I go out, like, do I end my political career on a high note? Or do I end my political...
Well, that's not possible.
Or do I end my political career with a defeat? It's almost certain that the next time around, he's going to lose. I was actually listening to a podcast last week, and they mentioned something very interesting. There's never been a time in the history of Canada that a prime minister calls for a fourth mandate after serving 2 consecutive minority mandates.
Yeah.
It's never happened before. So is Justin Trudeau going to do it? Is he going to win a 4th mandate after 2 consecutive minority governments? I don't think so. So I think that honestly, he's going to take advantage of whatever time he's there to pass all these big files and all these big laws that he wants to pass, just so he can say, listen, I'm leaving my head held high. This is what I leave behind for you guys.
China da. New country.
Yeah. So that's probably what's going to happen.
New Beijing.
And it's weird because he hasn't yet announced his cabinet, he's saying it's going to come towards the end of October, which suggests that the parliament won't sit before November. Which
They're going to stand the whole time?
Which I don't understand why the fuck you want to take so long. It's like, dude, call a fucking parliament in session.
Competence.
Pick your fucking people. Like, how much time do you need to pick your cabinet? Put them in place and let's get rolling.
I like the Canadians. They have little moments where they're kind of, ooh, that's a bit much. Like, remember that woman, one of his cabinet people from, but she lost when she called the Taliban her brothers. And people are like,
Miriam Monsef.
She didn't get reelected. People are like, I'm not voting for that bitch.
She called the Taliban her brother.
You remember they did a Zoom.
This is like a week before, or it was a week before the elections. It
These
was
elections.
Yeah,
yeah.
When
no
all the,
way.
Yeah, you didn't see this.
When all the
people
troops,
are fucking stupid.
Yeah, when all the troops are pulling out of Afghanistan and people were questioning if whether or not they were going to allow this to happen or if they were going to start terrorizing people or the troops or shooting down planes or whatever, she comes out because she's an Afghani. She was a refugee in Canada. The whole story with this MP was the fact that she was a refugee out of Afghanistan and she achieved that. You know, they had put her as a poster child.
Yeah. And instead she did a full 180.
So she comes out.
Hold on. She escaped a country where she was going to get killed by the people who terrorized the Taliban.
Yes. Yeah.
And then...
No, the people who were the Taliban, not the people who terrorized the Taliban.
No. Sorry, I minced my words there. So yeah, and then...
Mixed your words.
Mixed my words. And then when she was here... Then she turned and...
So look, I think it was a couple days before the campaign started. She comes out and I don't know why it was her. I think it's probably because she was the minister in charge of the status of women, probably because of that. Anyway, and she's like, I want to send out a message to my brothers, the Taliban. Please let us conduct... please let us conduct this exercise peacefully, blah, blah, blah. Please don't interrupt. We got to get the people out, offer them an opportunity.
And the Taliban obviously was like, oh, a lady. Of course we're going to listen to her.
But look, let's just say something, because I've worked with the Muslim communities.
Yeah.
Calling a Muslim person my brother or my sister is very common.
Of course.
Okay.
I do it with my brothers and sisters.
No, but that's how it is.
I'm not Muslim, but I do it to everyone.
The problem isn't that. The problem isn't you're calling another Muslim your brother or your
sister. I never said that. You brought up the Muslims. I said the Taliban.
No. I'm saying for her, it's in normal circumstances, it wouldn't be a problem for. But you're calling
this is the Taliban we're talking about.
It's like, why do you have to have that?
What do you think they got the message? Our brothers, they're like, why is this whore speaking on TV? Who let her read? Yeah, bro, they don't give a fuck. Are you crazy? This is so stupid.
And it made obviously.
And she lost.
And
Canadians have their limits. Yeah. Like, are you fucking crazy?
Which was very interesting, and just some random nerd fucking statistic over here, because the riding that she got elected in, Peterborough, I think, out in Ontario, is usually one riding that is often looked at during an election, because for the longest time, whoever wins that riding is usually the same party that ends up winning the election.
Yeah,
it's always like all these analysts are always looking at Peterborough because I don't know why, but traditionally the MP that wins there is always in the winning party.
And which MP won there this election?
It was a conservative that won there,
Election fraud.
and it's not part of the governing party, which is crazy. Anyways, whatever.
Anyways, there's some fraudulent activity. But I got to say something. She would have had better luck if she appealed to Hulk Hogan. I am a real... And she was like, listen here, brother. We need you to help us get out of Afghanistan easily. Yeah, that would have been better than when she did the Taliban, my brothers.
So Trudeau, just to get back to him, he doesn't want to give any indication on what he's going to do. Obviously, he doesn't know yet. It's still very early on. But the quote that all the papers have caught was that Justin Trudeau hopes he can complete his 4-year mandate. So, and that's what he said, right?
Well, I mean, look, Trudeau's an asshole, but I mean, that's a logical statement.
But
you always hope. I hope things go well. I hope that's not bad.
Well, no, because usually, politicians are very accurate in their statements, right? It's like,
really?
We will stay. We're going to do this. I hope that I can complete my 4 year. It probably suggests that he's playing the safe route because I think he's looking at his exit strategy. But what I found strange was that he announced that his cabinet is only going to be named towards the end of October, but he did say that Chrystia Freeland was going to remain finance minister. So I find that strange. Like, why would you say that? Like,
our finances have been great.
Spectacular.
Hey, you fucked up the economy, right? Of course. All right. Keep doing what you're doing, girl.
Okay, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something else that you had mentioned a while back when we had spoken about the Quebec bill that aims to reform Bill 101 and to reinforce the use of the French language. And we spoke about the fact that how strange is it that all this effort is being done to protect the French language, meanwhile we're neglecting the natives, right? So right now, as we spoke...
Why can't we do both?
Yeah, so right now, we spoke about this last week. There's public consultations with respect to this bill being passed. So they're consulting all these professionals and all these different associations. And the First Nations Assembly went to Parliament to testify in this committee. And they said that this new bill is going to block us from succeeding. And they requested that this new reform exempts the natives and their language. Any language, we understand that the French needs to be protected, but the Aboriginal languages should all be protected as well. And we should have an equal right, just like the French have, to go learn and to study in French, for our members of our community to go study in our own language as well, since it's the native language.
I'm with it.
You know what I mean?
I got nothing against that. What'd they say?
I don't look. This is just a testimony, right? So I'm not. It's not up for debate. They're bringing different groups. They're giving their own version and what they wish to see. It's obviously going to it's going to be taken into account. Is anything going to change? I don't know. But it's interesting that first and foremost, the First Nations Associations is there to testify. So that's a good thing. And it's a strong message. It's a strong message, and for the first time, I think, I don't know, unless it's happened in the past. I don't know. Maybe I was too young back in the 70s and 80s when this debate was happening again with Bill 101 when it was drafted. I don't know exactly what happened with the First Nations, but it's the first time that I see this kind of request to say, like, listen, we agree with French, but can we fucking please draw some attention to the native tongues of Quebec, and can we give an equal amount of importance to our language as well?
I agree. I know so much more about the natives because my best bud, Mike Ward, just got his degree in Native Studies.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just got his degree in that, and now he's working on a Yale degree too. He's going to get that soon. But yeah.
Are you fucking with me?
No.
Okay.
Everybody knows this. Mike's been very public about it. He got his Indigenous Studies degree. He was doing it online during the tour.
So what is that? That's kind of just like the history and all that stuff?
He knows all about what's going on, what happened. He's the one who told me about what was happening in the residential schools and how Canadians, like Canada, the government, not even the people, the government was treating them, and how they basically lied to all these. A lot of those people didn't even know that their kids were dead.
No.
They were told they became Canadian, they became white, and they left and they're never coming back. Now they live a white lifestyle. That's why they're not here. And the parents were sad, but they're like, at least our kid has a good life. They didn't know that their kids were murdered. So
that's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I learned all that from Mike, yeah. So I'm all for that shit.
Well, first of all, it's great that Native studies exist. I just don't think it's promoted
It's not promoted. Mike had to go to it's a class that you got to take. This in schools they should teach. Like I didn't know enough about natives.
We do history. We do history
but
in high school, but it's such a it occupies such a small part.
The majority of what I knew about
curriculum.
natives was from Pocahontas, and I'm pretty sure most of it wasn't even real.
No, I remember learning the different tribes and all that stuff, and a bit of the history, but
That's not a lot.
I mean, like if you ask me now, I forgot everything about that.
Did you know that when the Vikings
the
Vikings came here before the colonial era and shit? Did you know the Vikings didn't try to conquer the natives? Instead they traded with them. They were very friendly. They were never at war between each other.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
You weren't there.
That's true.
That's some bullshit. Trust me, they were at war with everyone. Obviously, you want to trade a bit, but if you want to take something, you're a Viking, you're going to take it.
Yeah, but I think they didn't have... hold on, I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah, you go look for that one.
Yeah, you go look for
No,
that
but
one.
it's cool that I didn't know that about Mike, and it's fun. And
Mike is a scholar.
No, but just to go back to what we're saying about the whole issue about Aboriginal studies, that first of all, it's not promoted enough, and why the hell would it have to be like a separate program that you have to take if ever you're interested in?
No, it should be part of the curriculum here. Yeah, that's what I says. Same thing like in Quebec, both languages should be full on from when you're a kid. You should be fully bilingual minimum. If you're trilingual, even better. But bilingual should be full. It's a power. It's not a handicap. The more languages you speak fluently, the more powerful you are around the world.
I'm curious to see how this whole debate on this Bill 96 is going to unfold, because the last time we opened a debate on amending the Bill 101 or the French language bills, chaos ensued.
Because there's always assholes that are in charge that don't look out for other people, and not even for themselves. They just want to polarize people so that they can get votes. Like, what was that woman's name? The last premier, the lady? Fuck, what's her name again?
Pauline Marois.
Yeah, her. When she basically said, if you're French, you can't go. She didn't want you to go to English schools, all that stuff. But her kids went to private schools that they were fully bilingual. Yeah. So for her kids, it was okay for them to speak English and to go out, become international, become successful. But for you, if you're a Quebecer in here, fuck you, stay here. I don't want you to know what the Americans are saying. It's crazy that people were like, fuck yeah, like they didn't realize she's fucking with them. Yeah. Your kids need to stay here. Their worldview needs to be limited.
But she's not the only
no, she's not the only one. I'm using her as an example because
I know Parizeau's kids had the same education.
But that's what I'm saying.
Laundry's kids.
Yeah, you'd think you'd be like, whoa, hold on a second. I'm pro Quebec. I'm for Quebec. I want my fucking people to be at the top. They're gonna fucking know everything. They're gonna dominate Canada. They're gonna dominate international.
I don't understand where to put your own people down.
Because they don't care about the people. We think that they're nationalists. They're not nationalists. They're just people that want to get votes. So what they do is, in order for you to always get votes, they need to make sure that the people are as dumb as possible, and they vote on emotion. They don't vote on their best interests. That's what political parties do. She doesn't give a fuck about the people of Quebec, and you know that because if she did, she wouldn't treat her kids differently in a better way, give them more opportunities, and then take those opportunities from other Quebecers. But it's not just her. It's not just she's evil. Most of these politicians are very selfish people. They're cocksuckers. That's what they are. They're cocksuckers. That's why they get into that game. They get in there for money. They don't give a shit. It's very rare to find nationalists in the classic sense of I care about the nation. I'm going to take care of the people. That's why I'm here. Now it's the new nationalist. Is they use propaganda, fear. They use that kind of stuff to get your emotions. A real nationalist would be like, I care about the nation. Let me make sure everybody's here at the top. They have all the opportunities. They're awesome. They don't care about that, bro. It's all about... That's why Quebecers are so jaded with politics, religion, because it's been history, years of them getting fucked over. Federally, provincially, religion. That's why Quebecers are like, fuck these people. That's why they have that attitude. No. I get it. I'm with them. 100%. Same thing in Greece. Look at Greece, bro. It's the same fucking... Bro, it's the same families always in charge of the country. The same fucking families. Are we joking? Yeah. We got rid of a monarchy. You're basically doing the same thing.
No. It's very... But under the guise of democracy.
It's all bullshit.
It's not the guise. I mean, there's still democracy and people get democratically elected. It's just that it's become such an elitist thing that in order for you to reach those
You're getting democratically elected. Who's allowed to run? Either family A or family B, and if you vote family B, don't worry. Next time, family A will take over again. It's just the same cycle. Yeah.
They've just been dipped into this whole. Look, politics is part of the DNA, right, in Greece, and it's like, these families have been around forever, and they've had privileged education. They've all been educated abroad. They come back with all this knowledge. I mean, this is an ongoing thing, right? And I mean, it won't end now with Mitsotakis. There's a whole other generation. His sister Dora Bakoyan, her son is mayor of Athens.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen within the next 5 to 10 years? That guy's
They're
going to
going to
make
groom
a jump.
him to be. It's always like that.
You know. But that's sorry. That's not to say that they're bad. I mean, I follow the Greek prime minister, and he's doing a fantastic job.
No, he's not. The Greek prime minister is the first leader in the planet to bring up these goddamn vaccine passports. Okay.
Okay.
So if you don't like vaccine passports, if you don't like Australians getting the shit kicked out of them, blame Mitsotakis. Remember that. Remember that for the future. Then again, I don't think he came up with it himself. The guy seems like a bit of a buffoon. Probably they discussed it in Europe, and he's like, I'll be the first idiot to, because every other country's like, yeah, I don't have the balls to announce that shit. So he did it because he doesn't give a shit about Greeks or their rights.
No, I think
now he wants to fire nurses, doctors that don't want to get vaccinated, right?
Really?
Yeah.
In Greece?
Yeah, in Greece. And that's why in Greece they were saying, we were heroes a few years ago, and then now we can't get paid. Okay, that's fine. Starve to death.
Look, it's strict measures, like they're being taken everywhere. And don't forget, Greece depends so much on its tourism industry that they can't really put that at risk. They can't. So the guy came out and said, honestly, listen.
So having no doctors is less of a risk.
It's not having no
It
doctors.
is interesting, though, that a nation that is known to be very rebellious is the first country to come out and before the passport.
Yeah. Well, the country's not for the passport. He
Well,
brought
like,
it up.
but yeah,
That's
but
why
he
there's fights
represents
right
the
now in
country.
Greece. There's protests. There's all kinds. Greeks are very rebellious. They're breaking shit. Greeks are still doing shit today. Forget the shitty Greek media that you watch is trying to fake it. Even, what's his name, bro? That guy with the mustache. The guy, the news guy in the morning. The fuck's his name, bro? The old guy that looks like a walrus that everybody watches. Bro, a doctor wrecked him last week,
what's the
bro. A
channel?
young guy wrecked him.
He's on Adena. I can't remember.
He got wrecked last week, bro. There was the funniest thing because the guy goes, he was this bullshit. He goes, you're not even giving the truth. He goes, it's propaganda. You're bought and paid for. And then the guy's like, are you saying, sir, I am, he was trying to make a stand. What you're saying is bullshit. I'm not bought and paid for. And then the guy goes, listen, buddy, he goes, the government gave your fucking channel 30 million euros or whatever. If you're not pocketing it, that's your fucking problem because you're an idiot. He goes, but you're bought and paid for. And then he just stayed silent. He's like, oh, this motherfucker. yeah. It was good. Yeah.
Speaking of the health sector, Quebec announced yesterday that it will administer the third vaccine.
Papadaki, that's it. Yeah.
Papadaki, yeah.
Also, there's a third one now in Greece?
No. Here we're talking about Quebec now. It's official. The health minister announced it.
What is it?
The third dose.
Oh shit! Really? It's official.
It's official. It's done.
fuck
By October, I think they're gonna start giving it to the seniors that are in the long-term care facilities, and basically it's because they have they qualify. They have the criteria. You have to take it at least 6 months after the second dose was administered. So most of these seniors fit into that category because they were the first ones to.
Hold on a sec, George. We got to talk about this.
Yeah.
We can't just say. So then, is this not a vaccine? It's not a vaccine.
No, because the health
what's
officials
going
came
on
out
here?
and said that the longer we wait, its efficiency drops.
So, okay, but that's the opposite of what they had said initially when they put it out for us to take it. This is studies that are coming out now. So what the fuck are we putting inside ourselves now? It's not what they described in the beginning. So do they even know how this works?
Yeah.
Do you see what you see? This is where I understand hesitancy. This is exactly where I understand hesitancy. They keep moving the goalpost, they keep changing it. But if we're supposed to follow the science, follow what they're saying, if it keeps changing, which science should change, right? But then you don't know what the fuck you're giving us. Why are you experimenting on billions of people?
Well, they know what they're giving us in the sense that it protects you, but there's a deadline to that.
But
protection.
if there's a deadline, why is we gotta figure this shit out?
Because of money.
No, I don't think it's that simple.
I think because of money. I think it's that simple. I think we're looking too deep into it because every year they're gonna make billions of dollars. If they take just one booster
I know
shot,
you're right. You're 100%
you know?
right. But there's no way that can be normal for us, for our bodies to keep. I understand they want to make money, but for us to keep doing this to our immune system, there's no way that's normal.
Well, for all we know, there might be nothing in them.
No, I
That'd be
don't
better.
think so. I don't think.
I think
this
there's something in
company-
them. I don't think they'd get away with nothing in them. But George, I don't understand. Are you comfortable with this?
Listen.
Do I always have to be the guy that speaks out?
Look, if you would give me the choice of administering a third dose to the seniors rather than applying a first dose to the 0 to 11 demographic, I'm sorry about that.
Old people. I know. You don't like them. You already told me.
So yeah, if I had to choose between giving a third dose to the seniors, because apparently the cases are starting to rise in these closed spaces again.
Okay, so but why is it
versus vaccinating the children between 0 and 11? I have a much bigger problem vaccinating the youngsters, because we've been told throughout this whole entire time that they have the best, they're the most.
That's what I'm saying.
Immune.
They keep changing everything.
And now, they're eyeballing around November to start vaccinating these young. They're just waiting for the okay from the FDA, whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah, that matters.
You know what I mean? So in the meantime, they're going to administer the third dose to the seniors. I mean,
hold on, and then why aren't we talking about the homes that they're in? That clearly, if there's still cases and now they're rising again, and we knew last time when this happened, they were being neglected, they weren't being treated.
And not only that, we know now that with this forced vaccination, that a lot of health workers are just going to leave.
Yeah.
By mid-October, which is the deadline they give, I think they give it until the 15th of October, they're expecting over 15,000 health workers to just leave the network. So it is serious. I mean, okay, you have these senior care facilities that have already been in trouble. The main problem was the reason why they died in the thousands was because there was insufficient staff and personnel. They were just going from one place to the other, infecting everyone. And now you're going into this whole other wave of vaccinations at the same time, approximately, when you're expecting thousands of people to just leave our health network. I mean, I don't know. It's a big problem, and the government now is supposed to be negotiating with the unions. We don't know how that's going to go. They gave this huge incentive to get the nurses back. We don't know how that's going to unfold. So everything seems to be falling into their plate at the same time. I just hope we're not walking into a fucking shitstorm. That's what I'm praying for.
I feel like we're walking into a trap. This is weird.
Because they're talking about also in the chat that it's like the flu vaccine every year. But the thing is, that was optional. It wasn't forced.
Exactly.
And it was only 40% of the adult population, apparently, in Canada that would take that shot.
I guarantee you it was less than 40%.
Guaranteed less. But majoritarily, though, the people that did take it were seniors, 65 and over, and people aged 18 to 64 with chronic conditions.
Exactly.
A very, very small percentage of people, about 20%, without any conditions, took the flu shot every year. Which means most people weren't afraid of the flu.
Which is why they're also doing it in October, because they want to do it around the same time where these seniors are used to taking their flu shot, usually in mid to end of October. So at the same time, they will be administering this third dose.
But the seniors, I mean, I see they are already 80% of them. I'm giving you numbers from 2017 to 2018 and 2018 to 2019. And 2019 to 2020. But the seniors prior to the pandemic were already taking, 80% of them were already taking flu shots.
Yeah.
They were already taking yearly flu shots because the people who are the greatest at risk of even just the flu were seniors, 65 and over.
Very, very, it's suspicious as balls.
But what's your point there with regards to the pandemic? I mean, okay, obviously the flu shot doesn't help in any way.
It helps, but it helps people at risk. But what I'm saying is this whole force shit.
Yeah.
You know? Because they're
okay.
gonna administer it to the seniors at first.
So I remember you had said at one point, you're gonna do your part, you're doing what you have to, because that's what they told you. You're gonna take your 2 shots, but if there's a third one, you're fucking not taking that. How do you feel about it now?
I mean, listen, in the beginning, I was hesitant on the vaccine to begin with, and I did it because, look, if this is what we have to do, we got to do it. And I think we all took part in this whole collective effort thing.
But now, so you said I'm gonna. This is what I remember. You said you're gonna take part. However, if you see that now they're trying to take advantage, it's still take this. They keep moving the goalposts. So either they don't know what's going on, or there's other. You said you're gonna put your foot down, or if they start trying to vaccinate your kids.
The kids
now they're trying to do both. Now
they're
trying to vaccinate your kids, and they're trying to give you a third shot. But I could already see the hesitancy in you. Okay. you're like, I guess I just have to do it. This is the problem with us. We keep doing this. We're not taking a proper stand on, I have my limits as a human being. We're not doing that anymore. We're scared to offend people. We're scared to make people around us angry because the government said, because the media said this and that, and we're accepting things without question. I think we have to start questioning why in the beginning when you said this was tested, this was fine, this is what we need, now it's not what we need. So then it wasn't tested. So then you're saying that we are the guinea pigs of this.
Well, we knew that there wasn't sufficient testing. When you know that any medication takes upwards of 3 years.
Yeah, okay, but it wasn't disapproved and forced. Now it's being
this
mandated.
Time within less than a year, we had it available.
So the conspiracy theorists have a point. The government mandated something experimental. We were the test subjects, even though they said no, this is fully safe. We know how it works. Clearly, you don't know how it works because we keep moving the goalposts. How the fuck do I know in a year they're not going to be like, okay, now you have to take this because we may have overloaded your bodies with the useless spike proteins. That's fucking dangerous right now. So you have to take this to try to reduce. How the fuck do I know that's not going to happen? I don't know how this works anymore.
Yeah. Again, I mean, look, see, my argument at the beginning was like, look, they're starting from the... Remember, I remember it was during an episode where I was saying, listen, they're going to start the vaccines with the seniors. By the time it comes down to maybe our bracket, our age group, we'll be done with this pandemic. Remember that?
You know what it feels like? It feels like looking at the previous flu vaccines, it almost seems as if they weren't taking up enough market share.
We should say something right now. Can you see the last thing that Joker said? Can you repeat that, Poseidon?
I hate saying it, but the seniors doesn't help the economy. They cost a lot, and they take a lot of the hospital's materials, equipment, and staff.
Okay, so I'm going to say something. That may be one of the biggest cocksucker statements that Joker's ever written in the chat. I will tell you something. The seniors are the reason why you're here. The people before you that had to work, that worked in much more fucked up conditions, are the reasons why you can be here now and you can take advantage of buying shit, of going to the fucking hospital. People had to do it before you. You cannot... If you grew up in the Western world and you think like that you need to disregard and throw something or people once it's served its purpose for you, that is a horrible communist fucking future. That is horrible to think like that. You have to take care of the old people. I don't like this culture, this throwaway fucking culture that we have right now. So what if, the guy's 80, bro, what's he gonna do? He can't go work at the factory. I don't give a shit. Take care of him, because the reason why you're able to work at a fucking factory is because that guy broke his fucking back for years. So this is crazy to think that way. Oh, they don't contribute anymore. Fuck off,
But they contributed.
They contributed. They did their part.
All his life.
They did their part. Now you do your fucking part.
Yeah, I'm very against this culture here.
Fuck that throwaway culture bullshit. So what's going to happen? So if you're sick, if you have diabetes, if you're sick and you need, do I have to say, look at this guy. This guy's fucking sick, but he doesn't contribute. Fucking off him. Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, it's not.
Do we no longer live in a society? We're not civilized anymore. Yeah. Is that what we're gonna? It's what you fucking. What have you done for me lately, people? Fucking garbage, bro. Garbage.
It's sad to see this culture here, because in Europe it's not the same. In Europe they take care of their elderly.
It depends where in Europe, but yeah.
Well,
Southern Europe. I know. Yeah. This is some fucking garbage shit, bro. I don't like that. I think that honestly that's evil. To think like that.
Gulag?
I don't care. Bro, honestly, to think like that is fucking evil, bro. It's evil, and it has to do with this materialistic culture that we've built, where what can it do for me now? You know, throw it the fuck away. Yeah. I hate that shit. These are human beings, bro. These are human beings who work their fucking asses off for you, and in shittier conditions. Bro, the old ladies that are in old folks' homes, when they were working, they didn't have the same rights, places to complain if they were getting fucked with, sexually harassed. They didn't, bro, you don't know the kind of conditions these old ladies had to fucking work in to put fucking food on the table. Same thing with these old men. You think they gave a fuck about standards? They were taking their life into their own hands in a lot of these fucking factory jobs.
And people forget, it's not, the world wasn't how we've had it all cushy in the past, 20 years.
Yeah.
Bro, factory jobs used to be fucking insane, bro.
Yeah, they stopped contributing. I'll give you another fucking example. Even now, they stop. You think that's how people should think? So when the pandemic started, right? What did Mike do? Do you remember what Mike did? Mike called a bunch of comedians. He made sure that because they didn't have any other source of income, right? He made sure, he's like, bro, you need something? I got you. To give them money, right? So that they don't fall under, because there was no other source of income. When everything closed, they had no podcast, no nothing. These guys were going broke. Did Mike say instead, because he had money, did Mike say, fuck these guys, bro, you can't contribute, you can't make money, you didn't do a podcast, it's your fucking problem? No, he didn't do that, right? Did he have to? No, I'm giving you an example. These were young guys that couldn't contribute anymore. So right now, old people who actually did something that I'm reaping the benefits of the people behind me. I'm reaping the benefits of kids in China who built this shit. I'm reaping the benefits of those people. I can't then at the same time be like, yeah, fucking kill him. Who gives a shit? That is crazy, bro. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah. No, and look, at the beginning of this pandemic, I don't know if you guys remember, and that's probably one of the positive things that I took away.
Pieces of garbage.
One of the positive things that I took away from this pandemic was that the first couple of months when it started, there was this huge wave of solidarity, kind of like the example you gave with Mike, and everyone was kind of conscious about people around them, calling family members, friends, how's it going, how are you, this and that, and it was cool to see that happening. And in the back of my mind, I remember, I hope this remains, right? Because even myself, I was guilty of it. I mean, I hadn't called my aunt in fucking months, and suddenly I was calling her every second day. Do you need anything? Let me know, because I'm on the road. I'll come, I'll drop it off. Don't worry about it. And I felt that, this is something that perhaps we should maintain, right? And it just feels that the more time that has gone by, then we see people back to the old habits. It's like, fuck that shit,
Bro, my mom, I wouldn't be here, and I don't mean in like the getting born, but the toughness that this lady had, the amount she worked her whole life. But I don't care enough. I have to work extra to make sure that she has everything she wants. I want her to be comfortable. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, it's better to slowly start putting her down so I don't have to work for her. Are you fucking crazy, bro? You unappreciative fucking generation. You don't appreciate shit. You always want, and you don't fucking appreciate what people fucking did for you. You don't, especially old ladies and old dude. It was a different world. Yeah. It was a different world they lived in, bro. What the fuck they went through for you to be able to use your fucking iPhone now? For you to, such a fucking sad culture, such a sad throwaway generation.
Let me ask you guys something, because and this is something that is obviously changing with our generation, because we think much differently than the previous generations that took care of their parents, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was very common to walk into a friend's house and seeing the grandparents living there, for example, right? They didn't believe necessarily in placing
in homes
their parents in homes.
I'm completely against the homes as well.
So that was my question.
I'm not against them existing, because you never know the situation.
Well, look,
for sure.
But if an old person doesn't have family anymore, God knows what happened.
Different.
That's a different situation.
But I'm asking you guys, like, on a personal level, okay, like, tomorrow something happens and your mom is loses not homeless, but she loses a little bit of her autonomy.
Yeah.
Are you thinking, where can I place her that they can take care of her? Are you taking them in?
No, I'm taking them in. My wife already knows this too. She even said the same thing. She goes, if ever there's there's no chance in hell I'm not putting my mom in. Are you fucking crazy?
Especially with what we've seen, right? Especially with everything that we've seen. And like, you see places like
for me, I don't know. Everybody has different relationships. If your mom, I don't know what different, but for my mom, using her as an example, because bro, you know how ungrateful I would be? None of this shit, all the shit that you guys enjoy, if you watch my podcast, if you see me in stand-up, none of this would have been fucking possible if it wasn't for that lady. So it's ungrateful to be like, well, you served your purpose. Never in my wildest dreams I would do that. Fuck that, bro.
Especially with what we've seen now. And
I'll be homeless first before I do shit like that.
But I remember when this whole story broke out on Heron, that senior residence in the West Island there, that everyone died there. Now they're being, I don't know what, there's a public inquiry. Yeah. You think that, and it wasn't cheap, right, to stay there. We're talking about thousands of dollars a month. Like, we're talking about $5-6 grand a month there to stay there. You're thinking that I'm putting in all this money, thinking that the service must follow the amount that I'm paying every single month, right? And in return, what we found out was that no, it's not the case at all. It was the most horrible conditions that these seniors were living in. And you're thinking now, should I even trust these?
I don't trust anyone with my mom, if I have kids, it's the same argument. People either you lack empathy. I don't understand. But if I have a kid right now and my kid has some kind of disability, knock on wood, anything, severe autism, and you think I'm going to love the kid less or be like, well, he's not contributing, he's in a wheelchair, let's end it quicker? Never in a million years. Well, that's my life now. I'm going to make sure this fucking kid's taken care of. It's my fucking kid. You can't just, if something doesn't fit the mold or it doesn't it doesn't give you anything anymore, like let's say parents, they can't work, they're too old. You can't just, there's life, there's human beings. There's my dog, they wanted to put it down when I got my dog. Right? The reason why I kept it is because for 7 years she was getting abused. She was all fucked up. So I said, I'm going to try to give her the best life. And it was expensive. They even said it's a waste of money now because you're wasting all this money on her teeth, on her heart, all that stuff. Why do it? Why? Because this is what it was. Because the dog was showing me love, right? When everyone beat the shit out of her. So it's like the fact that she's willing to be like, well, let me try again after 7 years to give this guy. I was like, I have to give the best I can to. You know what I mean? You have to appreciate. You have to be conscious of that. And this is an animal. And for human beings, we're not willing to do it. Bro, it's baffling. What's the point of being here? All this shit is fake, bro. Your phone, this shit, all the equipment, all this shit is fake, bro. This shit doesn't matter. This shit, you could buy 1 million of these things. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. Human beings, bro. Human fucking beings. It's so limited our time here. And human beings, you're gonna, I don't know. And
The issue is
this shit pisses me off.
people started using people and loving things instead of the other way around.
Yeah, no, we're forgetting that, bro.
It just feels, I think, that we're preoccupied with so many things that, you know, the old generations just didn't have.
No, I understand,
Right? It
but-
didn't exist. I mean, we're in a completely different bubble, I think. The priorities, there's been a shift in our priorities, clearly. Because back in the day, it was like, let me go work anything, anywhere, whatever the fuck it takes. I got to put food on the table.
Yeah.
I got to raise my kids. I got to make sure that they get the right education. I got to make sure that they're healthy and all that stuff. Today, it seems that there's this paradigm shift where we're like, where's my career going? Where do I see myself in 5-10 years?
And do you fit in this?
Where do I, me, you know what I mean? And meanwhile, your kid is suffering because you're ignoring it, lack of attention. We're talking about screen time. Here, take the iPad, take care of yourself, kind of thing. It brings up interesting questions about where we're headed in our society.
No.
Yeah, I don't
A
like
throwaway
that.
society, bro.
Yeah, it's a sad throwaway
You know,
culture.
listen, when we were in school, I don't remember, unless it was happening and it was all kept very privately and we didn't know about it, but I don't remember any kid in elementary school ever receiving help from psychoeducators, orthopedagogue, and all
It wasn't as common back then, but then times shifted, right? Like things.
And mind you, these problems maybe existed. We don't know.
For sure.
It's just that they were handled so much more at a private level and at home, and you know what I mean. So we don't know. Today in school, it's fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy. It's like the slightest issue, your kid is going into whatever. Miss, I'm noticing that there's something maybe wrong with little Jeremy. Let's look into it. This is what we're proposing. Like medication is just boom, right? And the parents are looking for the easy solution sometimes, right? It's like, okay, do it.
So I remember a little anecdote here. I remember, and there might be people in the chat, because I know I have people who watch that used to work with me 10 years ago in video games when I started, when I was in testing, when I was at VMC. So when they had made me a lead of a team, right? We called it the Twilight Zone, because basically I took the misfits. Nobody wanted these people on their team because they were eccentric. They were weird. Two of them were like severe autistic, but they were good at their job and they were nice guys, okay? So instead of getting fired, I was like, no, I'll take them because, just let them fucking work, be nice to them. It's going to work. The guy who, and people know because he's been in videos online too, but anyways, he became the best game tester there by far. Because of his autism, bro, he was finding shit, bro, and he was meticulous to recreate shit. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because had I followed the easy route, which would have been smarter for me at the time because I was new, to be like, no, I'm going to take the people that it might not work with. But I was like, I don't know, this guy knows what the fuck he's doing. Like, so what if he's fucking weird? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was fucking amazing. So what if he didn't fit the mold? Why would I throw him away and then start? You know how much harder it would be to teach someone new this and that? This guy knows what the fuck he's doing. What the fuck do you care? Like, So I did that then, imagine. And I had no loyalty. It's not like I knew them personally and I had like a relationship with them. It was just, man, let me try to fix it instead of, okay, throw it away and get something new. And it turned out he's still working in the industry there. One of the other guys isn't anymore because he was fucking weirdo. But the majority of that team went on and they did a lot of stuff in video games. They're still working at this and that. When they were this close to getting fired, why? Because they were autistic or, they all had their own little issues. But they were amazing at their fucking job. But I could have taken the easy route. Don't take the always easy route. Take what's right. They're good at the fucking job.
Yeah.
They're good at the fucking job, bro.
Before we continue, by the way, Jorge Rosales dropped a super chat, $5. After watching Happy Gilmore, I could never trust a nursing home.
Yeah.
No, but speaking of autistic kids, and for those interested on the Just As Dads podcast, I had Nick Catalifos.
Isn't that the guy with the furniture?
No, Nick. He's an educator. He's the director of the English Montreal School Board, but he also works a lot with autism groups. He has a son that has autism. And there was a study that was conducted in the U.S. and they brought that guy here in Montreal to consult with him that proves that people that have autism that are on the spectrum are much more loyal. And because of the condition they have, it allows them to focus on specific tasks that they can complete much better than any other employee. So it's actually an advantage to the business, to the different businesses to hire more of these people because one, they're going to keep them for longer, and two, the productivity level is going to rise significantly. So, and I don't know, I think we spoke about this on this podcast. There's a project underway. I think it's going to cost $40 or $50 million to create this huge autism center here in Montreal. I think it's in Laval, sorry. And it's going to become like this huge hub where they're going to take autistic kids, they're going to educate them,
See what their skills are, where their interests are.
exactly, and they're going to work with Wager Education Center and other schools.
M&M's coming to teach them stuff.
And so the idea is to partner up with big business like Walmart and all these other companies where they can integrate them into the workforce and have them contribute to
society, and they're happier too, and everyone's See,
Fuck, that's
bro,
amazing.
Yeah, you think people are useless because they don't check your fucking boxes. Trust me, bro. People used to work hard. People used to do a lot of stuff before we started checking these stupid boxes.
It's true.
Yeah.
It seems that the problem starts when we start fucking making these boxes.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's the issue.
Well, it's not. Same thing with the old people, the way they see them.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't even know what the fucking iPhone is. She's not on social media. What is she going to do? She can't work at the restaurant. Yeah, I know, but you can fucking talk to her. And also, just give back. Just be grateful for all the shit. Like I said, I'll work my whole life right now if it meant... I'll work 10 jobs if it meant my mom is fine and she... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, just grateful for all the shit that was done for us to be... I don't know. I don't like
just that.
Bro, the forgetting thing, me, I see it as disloyalty.
Yeah.
Me, I see it as fucking disloyalty. You're disloyal, bro. If you don't take care of the people that took care of you, you're disloyal. And you're not to be trusted.
100%.
You're not to be trusted. Because how do I know you're not going to fuck me over when the time comes?
Yeah. One of my biggest stresses in life has been, will I be able to afford taking care of my mother when, she gets older? That's been one of my major stresses all my life.
Well, it shouldn't be a source of stress. It should be a source of motivation for you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but not stress like, oh, fuck, what am I going to...
It's always in the back of your mind, yeah.
Exactly. Like, I need to be able to... Never once did I think I'm going to throw in an old folks home. Never once.
You should have, though.
No.
Anyways, let's move on, guys, because there's a municipal campaign, and I'm not really following it. And I know that I committed, back when the federal campaign was starting, when I was doing all these interviews with the candidates, I had committed to doing the same thing once the provincial, the municipal election started, and I haven't done so. I'm debating on whether or not I'm not really in the mood, but I think I will do it. But in any case, there's a municipal election coming, so I've been following it a little bit.
Oh, you're talking about the mayor?
Yeah. And there's two things that announced. So I'll tell you one thing that Valerie Plante announced, and then some that you might like, and actually we all might like, that Denis Coderre announced.
Valerie Plante, I saw her announcement last week. 2 weeks ago, no? She announced that she likes penis.
Yeah.
That she thinks about it constantly.
Yeah.
Passionate about it.
Passionate about the penis. I'm cool with that. I saw that. I was like, yo, she just got my vote.
So she announced that
I'm checking the box with my dick.
If she were to get reelected, she will implement a registry for the rents, which makes sense for a lot of the tenants, but it frustrates a lot of the landlords because, as you know now, if you were to go get rent an apartment, the landlord doesn't necessarily have to show you how much he was renting it before you, right? And you don't know how much it has increased from the previous rent. So I understand that. But at the same time, when you look at it from the landlord's perspective, a lot of these, and specifically the people that have been living in these places for a long period of time where they haven't had an increase over 5-10 years, whatever, it kind of makes sense once they leave for the landlord to actually recuperate some of the money that he's lost over the last 10 years because he hasn't increased the rent.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, where are you guys at? So does this make sense to have this registry where you're imposing to the landlord the obligation to identify the rent that was there before you so that you can know if you're getting screwed or not? Or do we not? Do we protect the landlords? Well, protect.
I don't want to protect anyone. And at the same time, I want to protect everyone. So what I'm saying is the landlord made the investment, right? It's their business, okay? So unless the government is ready and willing to go into every other private business and tell them how much shit should cost, apart from setting limits of how much you can increase someone's rent that's there,
which already exists.
I'm just saying, apart from that, let's say that I would be for. But if me and Poseidon right now, we buy a building, a duplex, we renovate it, whatever, no one lives there, and then the first tenants come, I'm going to dictate the price based on what I think it's worth. And then if you want to pay it, I get the tenant that wants to pay it.
Yeah.
You can't come tell me that I'm the one paying the mortgage and you have to, you're gonna tell me how much it's worth or whatever. So even though around here people are paying $1,000, let's say a month, I have to put at 800 for. Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
No, that's nuts.
At the same time, we have to come to.
Because if you put at 5,000 a month, you're not gonna get anyone. So you're gonna have to stay competitive in the market anyway.
Yeah, but that competition though is much more significant than it used to be because we're facing now a problem with lodging, right? A lot of the people can't afford, like affordability.
But that's the government's thing to get affordable housing up there. The government should buy, there's many empty buildings, even around here, many empty lots that the government should invest in and create new condos that the government owns, and then everything's cheap. That I'm all for. But a guy who it's his business, bro, if you work your whole life and you're not a podcaster, you're a landlord, let's say, you buy buildings and you take care of them or whatever. How crazy is it for the government to be like, nah, fuck it, you don't need to make money? It's like, yeah, but I got to pay my bills too. This is my business.
Exactly, because the only way that you're paying off that investment is through the rent. So if you're not covering that expense, then you're technically getting fucked over.
That's what I'm saying. So no, I don't agree with that. I think the government should, especially here, because of what's happening, because of the way the economy is, 100% all these buildings, these lots that aren't being used, take them and build affordable housing because they're going to be nice too. You know, new technology, nice buildings, concrete, and so make sure everyone is housed. But goddamn it, just because you can't do your job doesn't mean that now you're going to start stepping into other people's lives. They invest their whole lives in that, bro. No. They put everything on the line, you know, for mortgages to get these buildings. And now you're going to come in and do what? It doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. It's my investment. Yeah, I don't even own property. I'm just saying it's my investment. It would be crazy. I don't like the government. That's overreach for me, just because they can't do their job. If there's a housing crisis right now, it's because of the government. That's why. Yeah. Because it's not like we don't have the land, we don't have the property if they really cared about affordable housing, right? But they're not building it.
No.
They're not building it.
Well, look, Valerie Plante had made a promise 4 years ago to create, I think, over 60,000 social housing units. It wasn't done.
Oh, no shit. A broken promise from a politician.
Yeah, well, she's blaming the Quebec government for not helping out because a lot of the things that are promised municipally depend a lot on provincial or even federal funding, right? So,
well, it wouldn't if we didn't have to elect 250 different officials and pay them every year. Maybe we need less officials in this fucking city.
How many city councilors is there? Because it's ridiculous.
It's over 200, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, city council, Montreal. I should know this, but
Montreal. There's every neighborhood. Look at us. Look at there's a mayor of what Park X of next to it. Over, they're all fucking.
We have more than the state of New York.
Yeah, more than the entire state of New York.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
He didn't know this.
No, I didn't know. No, I know that it was high. I didn't know the exact number,
Yeah,
but I
it's
know that
super-
for a
it's
city
super
the
high.
size of Montreal.
You were in politics.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
know, but I didn't care
everybody
about
and their
municipal.
neighbor is a fucking political leader. It doesn't make any sense, right?
Search it. I'm curious. How many city councilors in Montreal?
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, we have a lot.
Yeah, well, because we have the districts that each elect
So
a
many
councillor,
boroughs.
but then those districts are under the umbrella of a borough, so the borough has a mayor, so that's another elected official.
Yeah.
And then some boroughs have borough councillors in addition
Yeah.
to city councillors as
Yeah.
well.
That's why.
65 elected officials.
No. There's more than 65 elected officials, bro.
Hold on.
Yeah. Because you want to know how many, basically who's sucking at the teeth. Because right now you have people that are council that they work in the borough, they're elected, but then you have a mayor on top of them, and then you have.
No, but the mayor is also, but the borough mayor is also elected. That's why I thought 200 was high. 65? You said?
No. The number was in the hundreds. Hold
Yeah,
on.
there's more.
It's another word I'm looking for.
Just put city council.
Yeah, city council or politician, shit like that.
How many city councilors in Montreal?
Yeah.
I wrote 40. It says
That's 40.
46 city councilors,
Okay.
And
18 borough mayors. So 60.
45 and
64 in total. 65 members.
there's 200 something I remember, but I forgot what the word is that we're looking for.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not thinking about Quebec? Because Quebec has
No. In
225.
Montreal alone.
Quebec City has
no. Quebec
225.
has 125. Sorry,
Quebec City has 125.
the Parliament of Quebec.
Oh no, Jesus Christ! Me, I thought that Quebec City.
No.
I was like, fuck, bro.
Provincially, there's 125 members of
What
Parliament.
was the word?
I forgot the word, but yeah, a lot, bro. Even 65 is a lot for here.
Yeah, because 200 seemed high. But anyways, whatever it is. For a city the size of Montreal,
It's absurd. All of it is absurd, bro. That's what I'm saying. So then you go, we don't have enough money. Well, you don't need to have fucking a mayor of a mayor of a mayor of a mayor, a council. Like, fuck off.
and that's essentially because certain services are centralized and other services.
We have 103 reps. What the fuck, bro?
Is that what it is in Montreal?
That's what
103?
Jorge's saying, yeah. Jesus Christ, bro. 103. You know how crazy that is? I feel stupid saying it.
Oh, you know why? Maybe because because you have Montreal, but then you have
the greater Montreal. You have Laval.
No, because you have the agglomeration.
The fuck is that?
Well, you have like the West Island now that joined, and you have all these other.
It's a mega city.
Yeah.
Mega city.
Whatever
It's an island.
Anyway, so that's what she's promising. Flip side of the coin, Denis Coderre was campaigning in Park Extension this week, and one of the announcements he made, and this is something that I hope it happens.
You didn't ask me for permission.
No, that's one thing. But he said that if he were to get elected, he would remove that ugly fence dividing TMR and Park Extension. Which has been an issue that is highly debated for what now? 30 years, 20 years, whatever it is.
I don't want it to be removed.
You don't?
No.
Why? Because you feel bad about the TMR people that are going to have to live with the fact that...
No. I'll tell you why. Because there's gates every block, so you could get in if you need to. If it's willy-nilly open like that, you're going to have these idiots driving through on the grass at night. You ever seen Montreal drivers?
For sure.
You ever seen Montreal drivers?
For sure. You're gonna have idiots.
Yeah. It's gonna be the cause of accidents.
I'll take a shortcut into TMR. No, but what's
how are you gonna take a shortcut though? There's no
I'm
road.
saying what you're saying. Like, let me take a shortcut. Fuck it. Yeah, I'll just go over the median, whatever it is.
Yeah.
No, but that won't be able to happen because from what I read, they want to remove the fence but beautify the area, so make it green on both sides. So
it's still a fence.
Well, it's still a division.
And I have a question. Our city here is predominantly a winter city. Mm-hmm. So if that's what they're going to do, they're going to greenify it. That means that most of the year it's going to be an ugly bunch of branches.
Just branches. Unless they put cedars.
What the fuck is that?
It's like a tree, a cedar. Like it doesn't lose.
I think I know what they may be thinking of doing. You know when they have those dividers in the middle of the street, and they have their concrete stuff, and they hold a bunch of plants.
All of this sounds like a waste of money. Just keep the fence.
It is a waste of money.
Look, what I read.
You don't even notice the fence for the most part because they're in bushes. There's a ton of bushes around.
You know they bush.
Yeah. So look, the argument from the TMR side for all these years has been the fact that Lacadie is kind of like a mini highway. We're talking about 3 lanes.
Well,
you know what I mean? So
if anything, they need walls.
Not only that, but they're like just in terms of people's safety. I mean, you take out the fence and you have people from either side, right?
Drive over
Park X or from TMR. I mean, it's a very dangerous passage over there. So Denis Coderre came out and said that he's going to reduce the speed limit to 40 on Lacadie.
Oh, for fuck's sake, bro.
Potentially remove.
Fuck Denis Coderre then.
Potentially, like instead of 3 lanes, make it 2 lanes or whatever. I don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Fuck this idiot, bro. It's already congested as fuck. Oh, this guy's an imbecile.
Yeah.
I'm going on record right now. Denis Coderre is an imbecile. He's a complete imbecile. I hate these politicians. They just say stuff. Well, you don't like the fence. All right, lower the speed. Not thinking of the damage you're going to do. Already, this thing takes forever because the goddamn Lacadie circle, everything's fucked up.
Hold on. Question. So he wants to turn it into 2 lanes instead of 3?
So Denny wants to back up the traffic from what? From Cremazy? Now he wants to back it up all the way to Beaumont. Is he fucking crazy?
No, that's insane.
So Park X needs to be a parking lot for cars just so this guy could fucking say that he did something.
No,
I hate politicians, bro.
Yeah, so here's what it says. En plus de retirer la dite clôture, son parti compte resserrer les voies de circulation pour aménager des bandes végétalisées au centre du boulevard et à l'est du côté de parking. So, he promises that parking will be maintained on both sides of the street and that the speed limit will be put at 40 kilometers.
So hold on, you'll only be able to drive on 1 lane instead of 2.
Yeah.
No,
because when cars are parked on both sides, now it's 2 lanes, right? So what he's saying, it's going to turn into 2-lane driving when cars are parked
plus
into 1.
Parking.
Yeah.
But hold on, because from certain times in the day you can't park.
Yeah, already.
From 3:30 till
which makes it a 2-lane already.
Yeah.
Exactly. So majoritarily of the time it's a 2-lane. I'm talking about going north now.
Yeah.
Okay, going north, it's already
south. You have 3.
Coming south is always 3. Yeah, you can never
coming
park.
south, majoritarily it's 3, except for as of
when they close the
as of 7 or until 7 to 7 in the morning, I think.
They stop the parking.
Yeah. So let's say going north now. So they're gonna turn that into 1 lane with parking, basically.
But at least you could park because that's gonna be a parking lot.
This is insane, bro. It's already a shit show.
Bro, this city is going to shit because the people that we elect are imbeciles.
Look,
the other one, they're like, yo, we need high traffic area down here. Cars need to get in so we can stimulate the economy. She's like, no, bikes and penis. Like, god damn. Who the fuck are we electing? Penis bike or this idiot?
Look, I've always been in favor.
Or fucking fence végétalisé. Like,
I know why she likes riding bikes so much.
Yeah. Look, I've always been in favor of removing that fence, but ever since they put, the bushes and it doesn't really show so much, and almost at every intersection they have gates that you can pass. I don't think it's that bad anymore, to be honest with you. When we were growing up,
I never paid attention.
When we were growing up, there were no bushes, so it was like an actual fence that you would see, and there were no access points. There weren't. I think only one on either St. Roch or Jerry. I can't remember.
Jerry.
There was a door there, but it was locked. They would lock it on Halloween. They would physically put a lock on it.
which, for the record, being one of the reasons why they locked it, smart move. It didn't help. There's always another way, wink, wink, but smart move.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't really see it now.
Oh, no, bro. They're going to fuck up that street like every other fucking street.
Because Lackady is a main artery. I mean, let's face it here. I mean, it crosses fucking Montreal from south to north.
Yeah, it's the middle of the city.
Oh, they're probably going to want to put fucking a bike path too. Oh, oh no, bro.
Because of all the people that bike on the highway. What's the point? Bro, it's so dumb.
It's like how in Laval they have bike paths crossing entrances of highways.
Yeah, when you're turning on the 15.
Right.
I've always,
Most insane
I've always laughed at that. I go, you people fucking retarded.
And you're getting on the highway. You need to accelerate.
Yeah,
before
are you
a highway,
setting people up to get killed?
This is insane, bro.
Yeah, and it's on a major artery. You're talking about, what's that street called?
Saint-Martin.
Saint-Martin, yeah.
Bro, people, and it's
Very
a
funny.
60 zone.
yeah.
It's a 60 zone, and you
zone,
have
yeah.
somebody going 10 kilometers on a bicycle, and right before the entrance of the
They
highway,
could turn right into you.
you need to accelerate because the highway is 100 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, it's very funny.
But it's very complicated, these rules that they had to make for drivers just because of bikers. And I remember downtown when they revamped Maisonneuve, remember? Where they took out a lane and they put concrete, like you can't like it's a permanent bike lane there. The cars can't even go there. And everyone was wondering, how the fuck is that going to happen? Like the cars that are on Maisonneuve and want to turn left, there's another lane now. So they go on the most left lane so they can turn left. But there's another lane next to them where there's bikes and they have priority. So it's like you're there getting ready to turn. You get the arrow to turn, but the bikes can still go straight.
Oh, no, they put lights for the bicycles now.
Yeah, but if it's green, they can still go, and you have to kind of wait for them to pass. They
they don't sync anymore. So now they have. I've noticed that. I had the same complaint, but I've noticed ever since I went recently, they've actually put lights like how we have for cars,
Just for bikes.
just for bicycles.
You know the problem is they don't listen. The bikes don't, dude. I have the same problem.
So
when I'm
wait,
turning
hold
at the
on.
nest. I go to turn left, and the bikes are red, so they can't turn. They still try to cross the
that
road.
is a culture issue.
Because they see the green light that the cars
Nah,
have.
they know the truth, bro. They just don't care.
They're
Same thing like
assholes.
stop signs. They see the stop
It's
sign,
so fucking
but they
dangerous.
just roll right through.
It's so dangerous.
Yeah.
It is so freaking dangerous.
Yeah.
Me, I make sure I go before them, eh? Like when they don't respect the stop sign.
Oh, me too. I don't.
Me, I accelerate, bro,
Yeah,
and
me
then they
too.
give me a dirty. I go, what, bro?
Yeah, me same thing. I go, what? The rules are just for fucking you, stupid. I don't care. If you hit me, whatever, I gotta pay for some damages. You're gonna get fucked, bro.
And
if you want to take your life into your own
I
hands,
have
I'll
one-way
fuck you.
insurance, bro. I don't give a fuck. They run into me.
No, but these guys are tough too, bro. They're aggressive.
Yeah.
These bikers.
Yeah, bro.
They're gonna fucking bang in your car. Hey, Carlos!
All right, they can do whatever they
Get
want.
out,
But when
smash
they
the
get run
bicycle
over,
the
yeah,
head, bro.
there's consequences to every action, my friend.
You know what was funny? I was watching this thing on TV where they're trying to sensitize the bus drivers on the reality that the bicycle people face, and they took bus drivers and they put them on a bike, and they had the bus pass where they normally pass, and you should have seen them freak out. So
Yeah, because they're not normally on bikes. That's stupid.
no, but it's just for them to understand like the distance that buses pass next to the bikes, how scary it is for the biker. And it's fucking scary. Like, I mean, you're there and you just see this fucking mammoth of a thing just cross by you.
I got a better idea. Okay, how about you don't take your bicycle and ride in bus lanes?
Dude,
Because
That would help. That would.
those
that-
are bus lanes.
I remember when we were growing
That
up.
is true. It is weird that now we're defending. We're doing in another capacity rape, huh? Well, what was she wearing? We're doing that.
Yeah.
What the fuck does it matter, bro? Like, I understand. It's like, well, you know, it's scary for them. Don't go in the bus lane.
And bro, one of the dumbest signs I've ever seen out there is when there's that sign that shows if there's a cyclist on the street, it's a solid line, bro. You're supposed to go over the solid line and go
Look,
around.
it is illegal. Look, it is illegal
things. It's
to go.
illegal.
It is illegal to go in a bus lane. Okay, don't go in there and then look for excuses. Well, it seemed empty. Well, no. It's illegal. It's fucking illegal.
Yeah.
Rape is fucking illegal. I don't care what the fuck it was an alley. It's fucking illegal.
So
you don't do it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. My argument is that because when we were growing up, and I don't know if that was the case then, and we just didn't know about it, but we were only allowed to bike on sidewalks. I have a feeling that when we were younger, it was illegal to ride a bike on the street.
Yeah.
Unless I'm wrong.
It
I don't
wasn't
know.
actually like that, but they reversed it. Something about because now it's not safe for the pedestrians when a bicycle.
Yeah, and that's why they
sidewalk.
changed it. So I'm guessing. So anyway, I think that the minute anything with wheels is on a street, you have to follow the code de routier.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%
Like,
with
you have to. Number one. And number two, if you're banning motorcycles wintertime, why the
bikes.
fuck are we allowing bicycles?
Thank you.
I'm with you, baby boy.
Do you know how? And it happened to me once. I was leaving work, and we were living downtown, and I was taking Saint Urban because there's less traffic. And at some point, when you're going into Outremont from Saint Urban, when you're crossing, I think into Bernard or whatever, like you have to go under the railroad. I had to wait because I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna make it over the hill. There was snow everywhere.
You had to gas up and go.
Yeah, so I'm like, let me wait for the first cars to leave because once I'm down there, I need to fucking accelerate so I can get back up. You know what I mean?
Because of the ice.
So as I'm slowing down, I see this fucking biker just pedaling like a fucking maniac down the thing, and you can see him wobbling. His bike is going out because there's fucking
Ice everywhere. Yeah,
there's
it's
10
snow
inches
and
of
ice,
snow
yeah.
everywhere, bro. You know, obviously you can't ride a bike in there. It's like riding your bike in sand, you know? I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm going to kill this guy. And I'm not stopping. There's cars behind me. I don't want anyone fucking rear-ending me. So at some point I leave, and I'm just trying to accelerate so I can make it on top of the hill. Doesn't the fucking guy fall off his bike?
No.
He falls off his bike. Guys, I swear to God, for a second, I thought I'm going to run this guy over. It's done. His life ended. I'm going to fucking murder someone today. I don't know how the hell I did. Like, it was the scariest fucking thing in my life.
Yeah, and
The
then
guy
what
just collapsed. Nothing. I don't know. I left it.
happened? You went around him?
No. He fell, and I'm like, oh, fuck, shit. I just kept going. I should have stopped to see if the guy was okay, but I was thinking, fuck, I got to get up the hill
Oh, but
here.
you missed him.
Yeah, I missed him. But
Okay.
still, imagine the guy would have fallen like
On
I don't
the
know,
inside.
30 centimeters further to the left. He
Yeah,
would have gone
yeah.
under my tire. For sure.
You know what? Honestly, I think you should have swerved a little more to the right.
No, I don't think you should have killed him. I don't think you should have
I'm
killed him on
joking.
purpose. However, that's one of the Darwin Awards. Like, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That's absurd. Dude, I've had times where hills here, it's icy and snow where it's like, fuck, is the car going to make it?
Yeah.
It's very, very dangerous. It's you're taking your life into your own hands. Like, it's very dangerous to do shit like that.
Like, I don't understand. Okay, do you need to fucking ride your bike? Like
It would have been easier for him to take the bus at that point.
just walk.
Yeah,
Dude, walk. Honestly,
walk
you're going to
would've
make
been
it
easier.
faster.
Yeah.
You're going to make it faster. Trust me.
It's true, actually. Walking in winter, you're gonna make it faster.
Here it's crazy. Are we going to have a bad winter, they said?
No, they said they were going to have a good one.
Oh, really?
Last year was not bad. Actually, I got it because I hate
Last
winter.
year, you don't know if it was bad or not because you were inside the whole time.
No, I was outside. I was out all the time. But I get depressed wintertime. Guys, when mid-October comes, I don't know what happens to me. I don't know if it's the fucking daylight disappearing at 4 p.m. That bothers me. Something affects me, and I don't think I'm the only one. I think it's like a very common
Seasonal
thing.
depression. Dude, I get it. Dude, the last week or so, I've noticed that the sun is going down. Like at 7, it's dark now
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And I get sad.
Yeah, absolutely. But I felt much better last year because it wasn't a very heavy winter. I didn't feel like it was that heavy, which was a positive thing. And I hope
I don't know if it wasn't heavy or I wasn't out. I can't tell the difference because of the lockdown.
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. We didn't have a very heavy winter.
No, okay. And this year too?
I mean, it snowed, but I mean, not like we've seen. I hope. I don't know. That's what they're saying.
I don't trust these meteorologists.
I think the weather.
No, snow. We got a lot of snow, but it wasn't bad in terms. I think you meant it wasn't bad in
Like freezing?
freezing wise.
It wasn't a cold
very-
one, but I don't think we got that much snow. We got a lot of
No,
snow.
I can't remember.
I think
Really?
we got more than usual. if anything.
I don't remember that.
Because I remember.
I usually gauge that with the amount of times I shovel my driveway, which wasn't that much.
Oh,
Unless it was the year before. No, it was this year. I remember specifically because I bought a snowblower, fucking $800, and I used it 3 times.
what a waste of money.
Fucking big time waste of money. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, 800 divide that by 3 was what? Two something.
Yeah, bro, you could just shovel the fucking snow yourself if it's $200. You could save $200.
A lot of money to use it for 3 times. You're thinking, fuck, look, I'm going to spend $800, but at least I'm going to use it every
10,
second
15
day.
times, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's something that's gonna last you your
Oh,
whole
yeah,
life.
absolutely. But
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
if
saying
every
that
winter has less snow,
it decorates my garage.
Yeah, it's not worth it. This shit's big, loud, and expensive. Anywho,
Just like
Christ.
me.
yeah, I don't know, George. I don't like these politicians. They're all a bunch of morons.
Did you guys hear of this huge police operation in the West Island where they seized over $2 million worth of drugs and guns?
I did not. Tell me what's the
Just 2
address?
million.
Just 2 million. I think it's pretty significant. No,
Of guns and drugs.
yeah,
Nah,
no.
that's not significant.
There's been
at all
more?
on Guns and drugs.
There's been bigger seizures. Yeah.
I don't know if there's been bigger, but that's not the biggest deal. But I'm curious, what happened?
It was a huge operation. I mean, there were many police departments involved in it. We're talking about. Let me get the numbers for you guys. Here we go.
I feel like that's a fall amount.
It was in the West Island. So there were 5 warrants that were executed. We're talking about Bay Durfee, Beaconsfield, DDO, Kirkland, and Il Perot. There was a total of close to $250,000 of amphetamine tablets, 23,000 pills of Xanax, 11,500 tablets of speed, 2,500 capsules of fentanyl.
Oh shit, that's dangerous.
Yeah, various quantities of morphine, Cialis, cocaine, heroin, hash,
Cialis.
cannabis, halogen, whatever, shrooms. Yeah, and they found a bunch of guns as well. And apparently they're looking into the Irish mob.
Why they gotta look into the Irish mob?
That's what they're the people that there were 4 people that were arrested.
They suspect a bunch of leprechauns brought the drugs in.
And they they're all linked
Well,
to
they
the
are small.
They're all linked to the Irish guys. I don't know what the hell is happening right now in Montreal, but there's obviously a lot of turf war. I mean, we see shootings happening every single day.
Yeah, we don't talk about that enough, but apparently it's Gotham City again. huh?
Almost every fucking day there are shootings happening all over the place, and it's not like it's centralized. Like I remember when we were growing up, it was mostly in the East End in Saint Leonard. I remember that because I had a friend living in Saint Leonard. Bars were going in flames almost every second day.
Yeah, it was the mafia.
Now
stuff.
it's everywhere, man. Yeah, and I mean, it was a turf wars. It was like an internal thing of the.
They also
the
would
Italian
avoid
mob.
innocent collateral damage because they didn't want the cops on their ass. Because the cops don't really give a shit if the person that gets killed was a person of interest. Like, that's the life you live. But people in the city, politicians, give a shit when kids are getting shot or when random stuff is happening.
Like that 14-year-old girl that was shot and killed a couple months ago. She was just in a car and there was a drive-by shooting and she got killed.
Yeah, shit like that is unacceptable. Yeah.
So this is happening like randomly, and well, it's not really random. I mean, obviously these people doing all the shooting, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They plan it, so it's not random, but it's happening at random parts in the city, like Marché Central, East End, West
What?
End.
There was a shooting in Marché Central?
Yeah, man, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they don't tell us.
No way.
Yeah. There was I think 2 guys that got shot in front of the hospital, Longueuil, Laval, like everywhere, man. It's fucking happening everywhere, and I don't understand it. Like, I mean, how big is the turf that you're going
Well, it's not just turf war. Also, tensions are high.
Yeah.
Unemployment is at an all-time high. Opportunities are low. There's a lot of reasons why societies crumble, cities crumble.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, people are afraid to go out, and it's funny that we're mentioning Denis Coderre because he's addressing this issue obviously a lot during the campaign. He's like, listen, I saw this happening. It's happening in broad daylight, and it's true. 2 weeks ago, he was campaigning in Saint Michel. Like 5 doors down, there was a shooting, and like in some street with like different businesses or whatever.
Unrelated.
Yeah, of course, unrelated. But I mean, it can just happen anywhere. Fuck, you know what I mean? Like you're not even safe anymore getting milk. It's crazy.
I mean, these are ups and downs that cities, metropolises go through. It's growing pains.
It's not
when the ruling class does not do its job properly. So when this is factual, when there are abundant opportunities, education, hope, basically, when there's hope, this stuff doesn't happen as often. There's always going to be a crime element, but this stuff doesn't happen as often. It's normally in the shadows. When people kind of get disillusioned, all the news is you're gonna die, 4th wave. You basically feel like the world is ending.
Yeah, and
You don't have a job. You make you $2,000 a month. You have nothing to lose. You don't care. You're like, well, the world's gonna end in a year anyway. I'm with my boys doing this. Fuck this guy. He looked at me crooked. He's walking on my turf.
Well,
This is what matters. That you don't. Right now, we're literally. It's all negative. It's all death, passport, death, vaccine. It's all that shit. And then you wonder why people are losing hope.
Well, you're right about COVID-19 because what we've seen, like in whatever, let's say it's close to 2 years now, a little over a year and a half. A lot of these organizations that did spectacular work on the ground, right, try and keep these youths off the street and trying to get them on a straight pathway, they couldn't work. They were closed down. They were shut down. You know what I mean? So that obviously has direct consequence on what's happening right now. I feel I mean, this is just an assumption, but it makes complete sense when all these youngsters don't have that outlet anymore where they can stay away from these gangs and all this trouble on the streets.
Yeah.
We're seeing the consequences
And
right
they
now.
did help because there was with those organizations there was a lot of extracurricular activities like sports. They had
Yeah, and all that is
100%.
necessary because already we didn't have when you said like 40% of students would go to school hungry, right? So already we had a lot of cracks in our system. Already societal wise, there was a lot of cracks, income inequality, if you will. So there was a lot of stuff that was already crumbling or teetering around us. And then now you add the lockdowns, you add the lack of work, and lack of work also leads to a lack of self-worth, right? If you're if you're not contributing, you have to, and contributing isn't like a communist style of I need to be part of the assembly line. It's not that. It's if you feel like every day is the same, it's Groundhog Day, you're not even doing anything, you're not getting paid, you're not making any decisions, you're just floating through life. That's not good mentally. Humans they need a purpose. And your purpose could be anything. Your purpose could be to be the number one politician, the number one actress, the number one waiter, the number one employee. But you need purpose. You need to be something that you're working towards. If you're just a doll, basically, just walking around, emotionless, just going through the motions, that's not good. That's not healthy. And people are already depressed. People are already depressed here because of the climate. People are depressed here because of the lack of opportunities. So you add into the mix lockdowns, the ability to maybe make some money doing crime. Dude, this is you're setting us up for failure. You're setting up and they're not focused on the right things. They're focused on bike paths instead of actual redemption paths for these kids to get out of a shitty situation and work. It's very bad what we're doing. It's very bad, and we're like as if me and you are responsible. It's always future generations that are going to pay for it.
It's only that. It's just that something like this happens, and you only see the impacts like much later down. Like you can't foresee the consequences that this pandemic is going to have like right away. We saw this a year later, where at the beginning of this year, where all these women started dying. Remember,
AstraZeneca. The beatings,
women were starting to get, there was domestic violence that skyrocketed. You have all these kids now, they're in the street.
Lockdown, women get yappy.
So so the only question now remains like, okay, what have we not seen yet that is going to be a direct consequence of this pandemic? What have we not seen,
Yeah, how come we don't address that? That's actually a very good point that like you remember how we said, is the cure going to be worse than the disease? Mm-hmm. A lot of that shit's happening now with unemployment, with women getting the shit kicked out of them or getting killed. Or
mental health issues. Kids are struggling at school.
Yeah.
This is going to have repercussions, perhaps not now, but maybe in a couple of months, maybe
well,
next
it already
year.
has instant. There's chicks that are dying. There already has instant and kids that are fucking losing their minds. So it already has instant. Now, the compound interest that we're going to have to pay for on society. Bro, all these kids that are growing up in this society now, which is just, fuck it, what's the point, bro? We're going to die, COVID, all that. You have to deal with that in 10 years. Yeah. They're going to be adults, bro. You have these nihilistic fucking death cult kids that we made because we allowed our society to be run by the fucking mass media.
Like, can you imagine having like a young adult, like a young teenager at home, that very crucial period where they need to have, that hope, social bubble.
Love.
Discussions. They need that life that they have. You know what I mean? Like when I was 13, 14, close me up in the house, fuck, I'd go crazy. Mind you, back then we didn't have all this shit that we have now, right? Yeah. So maybe kids are preoccupied with video games and all the bunch of, which by the way isn't good either. But back in the day, we depended so much on our social life. We had to get the hell out of the house. Can you imagine having a teenager at home? Like I got lucky because my kids were young, so my little one wasn't even in school to begin with, so it didn't really matter. And the old one, well, she kept going, but I mean, it was weird because she had to start school with a mask and all that bullshit. But imagine having kids that are a little bit older that can understand.
My nephew's 18 now, dude, and he's always at home. And I even told him, get the fuck out of there. He's like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
There's nothing I could do.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, isn't that worrisome?
Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's not good. It's worrisome for me. That's what I'm telling you. I always think about the cause and effect, right? So people think about right now, like themselves. I can handle this. Yeah, but your neighbor maybe can't, bro. Your neighbor maybe isn't mentally stable enough to handle this shit, and he's not the only one. She's not the only one. No. And now we're contributing to a society where all we're spreading, especially through the media and politicians, is just fear and hate and all. You think there's no long-lasting effect of doing that to a society? You think now the adults that are willing to change, the adults that started hating their neighbors in the last 4 years because, no, but it's true. The adults that hate their neighbors either because they're black, they're white, because of what they saw on the news, because they're vaccinated, because they're unvaccinated. You think if the adults that should have known better started hating their neighbor over nonsense, you think the kids aren't even more easily influenced than the adults? If the adults fell for this divisive shit, imagine the children. Imagine in 10 years, those kids that are like, yeah, fucking vaccinated people, yeah, fucking unvaccinated people, yeah, fucking white people, fucking black people, fucking Chinese, fucking... Imagine them who are super... Now this is the time where you're molding them.
Yeah.
This is all they hear in their fucking... Yeah, the
exactly.
news. You're going to kill us, man, because you don't want to get vaccinated. You're going to kill us, man, because you got vaccinated and now you're spreading the vaccine point. Whatever the fuck they're saying, you know? Like, you're indoctrinating these kids. Everything's gonna end anyway, man. Fucking global warming, the tides, bro. What, are you fucking crazy?
Look,
Now, in 10 years, these are gonna be the people ruling the world.
Look, the truth is that there were political and social crises before. It's just that now the access to information is so much bigger. Like when I was in high school, there was this whole debate, a whole societal debate, and we lived through a referendum that divided the society over here in Quebec.
Still love everyone,
but. I mean, and it was big. It was huge. Like, I mean, much later now, I mean, you're reading back on what happened and everything that kind of unfolded during that time. You're like, holy shit, it must have been crazy to live, like, to understand. We were young teenagers at that time. We didn't know what the fuck was going on because we didn't have access to that information. We didn't have social media. We didn't have the politicians and everything like smack in our face every 2 minutes.
so you can get indoctrinated.
Yeah, so now things are changed, man. Every teenager now in school has a cell phone. They're on these platforms. They're scrolling through internet, and then an ad pops up with whatever Justin Trudeau or fucking Maxime Bernier or
Tits.
whatever it is.
A lot of tits online.
So it's serious, man. It's serious. The information that these kids are getting obviously is not always positive, and I'm just worried about where that is going to lead these kids.
Down a very depressing path. It's mostly that. It's mostly this nihilistic future that we have. And that's why some of it seems like, goddamn, this has to be orchestrated. This has to be a setup. Because you know what you're doing. You know you're setting up the future to be that depressing. What's the point anyway? What's the point? Like, you're setting that up. We're not stupid. But why? What's the benefit? And you're going to fuck over the rest of us. Yeah, sure, it's easier to control people. If people are scared and they think, they're going to listen to whatever you say. So it benefits the few, like the ruling class. But the rest of us have to live with these fucking people. The rest of us have to live in society. It's fucking crazy what's going on. And the news is super guilty, bro. The news people should be getting fined and jailed right now. The people who skew the statistics to do, I was reading on Twitter, people were like, I think there's a different way you could have framed that. There's a newspaper, The Sun or whatever, in the UK. They were like, danger. Hospitals are rising right now. 10% of the people in there right now are unvaccinated, and they're spreading thing. And then someone was like, well, so 90% of the people you have in there are vaccinated. So, but you're making it seem like there's like this weird thing that are spreading it, but basically just said that there's more because more people are vaccinated, so it makes sense, right? That there's going to be more vaccinated. But the way they framed it was like these people are the problem. But if that's the way you're framing it, just by the statistic, then wouldn't that mean that the other people are the problem? Neither, I'm going to tell you right now, is the problem. This virus spreads. You can get it. You cannot get it, whether you have or not. The whole point is you're trying to put stuff in your side to defend yourself. Like, that's what it is. But the way they're framing it is always, let me dehumanize one aspect of society. They're the enemy. You get it? No. That's criminal.
There's a funny way to kind of work in their arguments, right? I mean, that's what it is. Anyway, pretty depressing way to end the fucking show today, but hey.
You son of a bitch. Poseidon, where are they going to find us? Oh. By the way, new episode 2 Drink Minimum already is on the YouTube. You can watch it right now, but it's dropping on audio and everywhere in 5 minutes, noon, every Wednesday. 2 Drink Minimum, great episode. We were back at the Bordel Studios. As people made comments yesterday, it wasn't on purpose, but it does look like I'm the Bordel stud. Because I'm sitting where you can see Bordel and Stud, and it's just lit up behind me. It says studio. It was a coinky dink. I didn't notice until somebody said it. So it does look like I am running a gay bar. But it was cool. It was a good episode. It was fun. We talked about Poseidon's hygiene and my favorite show on Netflix, which is Love on the Spectrum.
Yeah.
You ever watch that?
No.
I started season 2.
It's a lot of fun.
Is it?
Yeah, it's people on the spectrum dating. It's fucking great, bro. It's it's a special kind of show. It's a lot of fun.
You're gonna like it, George.
Check George out, Mr. Trangizo's links are in the description. He's got the backstage podcast. He's got Just Us Dads. If you're a daddy in the future, so check those episodes out. A lot of fun. They're doing their weight loss challenge. None of them have lost any weight. Bunch of fat sons of bitches. But check out, they're trying. I mean, trying. They're eating less ribs. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but it's not that. They're not trying hard enough. Links are in the description. Watch them, share it. Poseidon is Poseidon69, Twitter and Instagram. But if you also want to watch him, he's on Twitch, twitch.tv/Poseidon69. That's his handle everywhere. He plays a lot of video games. So if you like video games and you like people commenting over video games and, you know, saying funny stuff, playing with their friends, he does all that shit. I might get on Twitch soon. We already have a Twitch channel, Pantelis for real. I'm there. I think the new FIFA and the new Pro Evolution Soccer eFootball, I'm going to be playing it on Twitch for you sons of bitches. Maybe some other games too. Who knows? Phil Balabanos wasn't here today, but links are in the description. Get him, hire him to make your film, make your commercial. He's going to professionalize you. Also, he does photo shoots. He doesn't like me to say that, but he's really good at photo shoots as well. You can hire him for that. Thank you all. Go to Patreon if you want to support this. Patreon.com/Pantelis. Patreon.com/Pantelis. And if you like the merch I'm wearing and you are on a computer right now, you just need to scroll down and the merch shop is available on YouTube. You could buy stuff and they'll deliver it for you. I actually bought this from our merch shop and they delivered it to me in less than a week. So thank you guys and go fuck yourselves.